Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I'm still kept at 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't covering my cloth, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I'm still kept at 100. Yeah, who don't play, 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 who don't play.
Music licensing reimagined.
Play, who don't play, 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 who don't play, 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 who don't. Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying to selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Sun up to sun up from Monday to Sunday. We maxing the limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving the mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation. I'm finessing the visit.
Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my UFC Vegas 12 recap, and plus going to be taking a look into 2026. And yeah, I don't know. We have a 6-week break, but I just don't feel like taking a break. I just really don't. You know, it sucks. It's only Monday, and it feels like we've been off for 2 weeks already. Because I'm used to waking up on Sunday and then researching the next card, right? But there was like nothing to research. So yeah, so my plan is I'm going to be at the very least going live every Monday until UFC 324, and have a couple cool things planned this week. Just gonna, like I said, do the recap for UFC Vegas 112 and look into 2026. Next week, I think I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into UFC 324. And then in 2 weeks, I'm planning on doing a reward show in 2 weeks that I have planned. And I'm going to need your guys' help with actually in a little bit. But yeah, 6 weeks off. It's going to feel like an eternity, man. It's gonna, like even a week off is way too much, but 6 weeks off is going to feel like a lot. But just wanted to come on here and recap this UFC Vegas 112 card and then look ahead. You know, we have some very intriguing matchups. UFC 324. Gaethje versus Pimblett, UFC 325, Volkanovski versus Lopez 2. We got another Apex card was announced on Saturday night that looks pretty good as well. So yeah, a lot of really good fights to look forward to for 2026. I think it's pretty cool how when we get back from this break, we're going to do back-to-back numbered cards, 324 and 325. It's gonna be pretty cool. So and on top of that, we get the Paramount Plus experience. We're going to see if what that's like. So looking forward to it. All right, before we get started, if you guys could do me a favor, like the video. If you guys are watching on the replay, like the video for me. Subscribe to the channel. It's always appreciated. If you guys are watching the replay, don't be afraid to leave me a comment. Let's hit up the chat. We got Daniel Forrest, first one in the building, saying, oh, hell yeah, a recap of the Apex card of the weekend and an early look into 2026 with Brother Brady. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and pipe up the like button. Happy holidays, Brady. Yeah, appreciate you, Forrest. Good to see you. Hopefully your break is going well. Mine's going well. It's been like 2 days, if that. Have they arrested literally anyone yet? Members of any commission, corrupt judges, incompetent referees, fight fixers, anybody at all? They have not. It did look like Jason Herzog was not reffing for like a month, but they brought him back, and Herzog reffed the 2000 or UFC 323 card. Haven't heard anything. We're not gonna hear anything for a while. That's the thing. You know, with the whole James Krause situation, we didn't hear anything for years, and then we finally got a little update, a little tiny update. So we're not gonna hear anything probably until like 2028. We got Mighty Pro. If Fiziev can put Justin Gaethje in a leg lock face sitting, what do you think Patty will do? Yeah, can't wait for that fight. Looking forward. It's kind of a weird circumstance. Like Paddy Pimblett can literally potentially be champion. Same thing with Justin Gaethje. But I'm really looking forward to that fight. Like if I could put it together a fight, it would be like that kind of fight. Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett, I think is a phenomenal fight. And just when I thought I had the gag reflex under control, I'm reminded of Marcus Buchecha. Oh God, not being able to submit Kennedy. Lord have mercy. Please, Brady, tell me one Buchecha has been released. He has not, unfortunately, been released. I'm surprised he hasn't. I mean, that fight was bad, man. Both the Buchecha's fights thus far have just been bad. Just been hard to watch. Luckily, I stayed away from that fight completely. Thank goodness. I was looking at maybe like a Kennedy KO 2-3, which probably should have hit. I don't know what Kennedy was doing. But thank goodness I just did not touch the fight, because it was just horrible. And then the other heavyweight fight was horrible as well. Pat versus Fry, that was a terrible fight. Luckily, we got Steven Aspinal to save the day. To his credit, Kennedy was 2 shots from finishing, but chose to eye poke. Kennedy was. I thought he was about to finish Buchecha like late round 1, and then I thought he was going to for sure finish him round 2. And the next thing you know, the fight's going the distance. I was like, you just can't trust Kennedy and Nzechukwu. 6 weeks, yeah. Horrible, man. And by the way, shout out to 4-Ounce Sniper. He actually sponsored the last 2 shows of Stat Diggers in 2025. So big shout out to 4-Ounce Sniper. Appreciate my guy. Very generous of you. Means a lot to me and Uncle Weezy. One more time in the sauna with the boys. There we go. Now, I'm going to be doing content throughout the break. I'm not taking a break, really. I'm going to be doing some, probably this week, I'll be maybe doing a deep dive into Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje. Maybe a deep dive into another fight for UFC 324. And then maybe next week I'll do like an early picks video, something like that. But I'm going to keep busy. I'm not going to take 6 weeks off. I mean, that's ridiculous. Alan Fry to get... Well, I mean, that's a given. Alan Fry needs some help. Even like Pat kind of needs... Pat like did nothing. Pat like had like a William Knight performance, but it was just... Fry was just clinching him the whole time. It was a terrible fight. I mean, it was just a horrible, horrible fight. We got Nathan Robinson checking in from X. What is up, Nathan? Saying, what's up, Brady? This break has me taping CFFC 149 for some reason. Yikes. Yeah, I did look ahead at some of the... we have some more events. It's like, I don't know. Definitely not betting anything the rest of the year, but might try to watch some fights for sure. Kennedy and Buchecha on the list together. Yeah, it was a draw, so I threw them on there together. I mean, Kennedy definitely needs help. He's always need help. I mean, this guy got knocked out by an invisible strike, Kennedy and Nzechukwu. I try my best to tell everybody that Bleda was not going to win. Well, when me and Weezy did our Stat Digger show last Monday, like everybody was like calling Bleda a lock. I was like, but guy, I mean, she's on a 2.5-year layoff. How can Bleda be a lock? And then we even pulled up her Instagram, and I showed the fuzzy slipper videos. See if I can pull them up again. And yeah, people are saying like she's a lock. It's like, what do you mean she's a lock? Let me see if I can find her. I wonder if did she delete her Instagram? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. There she is. Okay. See if I can pull up some of these training. Let's see. I mean, look at this. We showed this live on air. I mean, look at this. She's in like fuzzy slipper. Like if I showed up to my gym in fuzzy slippers, I mean, I would be kicked out instantly. They wouldn't let me in. Why does she get to work out in fuzzy slippers? Look at that. Like, you got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me, Teresa Bleda. Yeah, we were playing this video, and people were like, yeah, Bleda's got this. Horth sucks. Oh, my gosh. Now, what is this? What is that going to achieve in the octagon? Like I said, if you're like a basketball player, yeah, sure, work on that vertical, go up and get those rebounds, but I can almost assure you, Teresa Bleda is not playing no basketball. You're not gonna jump in the octagon. I don't know what that's going to achieve in the octagon. That's just me. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I don't know what the hell that's helping with. No, that's not bad. That's some upper body. Wipe that smile off your face, Teresa. Wipe that smile off your face. Look at her. Wipe that smile off. Take those shoes off. I couldn't believe that. Now, these are nice. That's very impressive. Oh, and then she wiggled the slipper. She only did one. Man. Some medicine ball tosses. Those aren't bad. She's only doing like one rep. Why are you doing 1 rep? 2 reps? No wonder she lost. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that performance by Teresa Bleda. It was just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yep. Don't forget to hit the like button. We got official for I'm anticipating Figgy versus Umar. Everyone says Figgy is done and has no shot, but stylistically, he has an incredible takedown defense. Umar has a bad chin, and Figgy is durable still. Yeah, Figgy, I don't think Figgy's done at all. I mean, he's like, what, 36? I think he has a couple more years left in him, especially at bantamweight. How about the French Pirate getting his ass handed to him by Costa? No wonder that line movement. Yeah, I picked Costa. I was not expecting him to finish Shari. That was an incredible head kick. Kind of came out of nowhere. Great performance by Mel Costa and a great year for Mel Costa as well. I think Costa went like 3-0 or 4-0 throughout the year. Just kept getting it done. Bleda looked like cheeks against Horth. Canada did well on Saturday. Yeah, Horth looked good. Croden looked okay. I think she just made a couple mistakes that caused her to lose the fight. Like, the one thing you really don't want to do is go into the clinch with Luana Santos, and she did that, kind of put herself into the clinch multiple times and got through and ended up on bottom. Yeah, kind of the fight. I didn't like the fight IQ of Croden, but I thought that was a pretty winnable fight had she fought smart. I don't know if there's something in the water jug of the Brazilian team in ATT, or maybe it's a white middle-aged Brazilian thing, but Buchecha and Moicano have no cardio and have no energy to find a TKO. Buchecha, like, completely death-gassed in the first round, but he pushed through it. It was crazy. Pushed through it. He actually got on top of Kennedy in round 2 and looked like he might have almost finished the fight with some ground and pound. But yeah, cardio is pretty bad for Buchecha. I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't see him again. I mean, both of his fights have just been awful. We got Evan in the building. Let's go, Brady. What's the goal for units this year, and what's the most units you've won in a year? I think the most I've won in a year is maybe like 40 something. Let's make the goal like 50. 50 units would be freaking awesome. But yeah, I think 50 would be pretty cool. Costa not getting performance of the night was some BS. Yeah, it definitely was. Let's take a look. Dana didn't give out many performances of the night. So this was fight of the night, the Aspinal Sheriff fight, which makes total sense. Other than that, they gave Vallejos a performance of the night, and they gave Kopp a performance of the night, which makes sense for sure. But how does Mel Costa not get a performance of the night? And yeah, that's it. That's it. Costa got robbed, but that's about it. Lance Gibson needs some. Yeah, I think King Green needs some help for even going to split decision with Lance Gibson. Lance Gibson needs some help. Man, a lot of people needed some help on Saturday. We got Verhoofdy. What's up, fellas? What's up, Verhoofdy? Brady, at least we have Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, which is a banger of a boxing match. Yeah, I agree. We might see a dead body, and the Spider-Man Anderson Silva is on the card. Is it a pay-per-view or is it free? But I'll be checking it out. So that's Friday, huh? I'm looking forward to that. Absolutely. Can't believe the commission let her fight. Yeah. If I saw slippers like that and I was part of the commission, I would have pulled the fight. My gym owner has these giant ass slippers he sometimes wears to the gym. Really? Not like that. I mean, those are the biggest slippers I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen bigger slippers than what Blade was wearing. He's not. Yeah, I mean, how could you train in something like those? Get some help to raise a blade. It was horrible. You know, I was never going to bet the fight in the first place. I would never bet a fight like that. But I was watching the fight, and it's like after the first failed takedown attempt, it's like she looks terrible. And like the first 15 seconds, like she looks horrible. And then I went to go live bet some Horth late finish props because I knew she was going to get finished in the second or third round. And luckily they didn't have them up. And then she got finished shortly after that. So it was just a horrible, terrible performance by Teresa Bleda. Hopefully she gets some help. Bleda's stupid. Let's go, Horth. Yeah, Horth gets a first round knockout. I could not have ever predicted something like that. Nice to see you motivated. I'm not ready to give up watching my favorite MMA analysis Kappa for 6 weeks. I love you, dog. Appreciate that, Deep Insider. deep insider. Definitely gonna be doing content throughout these next 6 weeks for sure. We got Big Steve MMA. Hey Brady, congrats on the profitable year. Appreciate that, Big Steve. Any year in the positive, you got to take it. You got to take it. And it was a sketchy year. We had the Bulgarian gate. We had the referee incompetency. There's like a month and a half of the referee incompetency where they would stop the fights and we're gonna restart the fight and that hurt quite a bit. But yeah, good to see you, Big Steve. Judges in the Gibson fight need help. They do. I mean, we got to find out who scored that fight for Lance Gibson because that was horrible. I mean, it's not like, Green looked amazing. It's just, it clearly won the fight. Sharia was robbed. I could see that. Oh, nice. It's on Netflix. Heck yeah. Okay. There we go. I'll be taking a watch then. I thought Royval might get KO'd. Yeah, I predicted Manel Cop by knockout. Didn't bet it. The knockout prop got smashed all week. I know Big Steve was on that knockout prop. But yeah, first round KO for Manel Cop. Brady couldn't wait. Me too. Yeah, I couldn't wait. Brady, if we get to 100 likes, will you sing Celine? Everyone loves your voice. Yeah, if we get to 100 likes during the show, I'll sing Celine Dion because I don't think it's going to happen. If I magically make 5 more K profit on regionals and boxing before 2026, I'll sponsor the show. There we go. We're always looking for sponsors here. So yeah, hopefully you do, man. Sup, Brady? I'm going to eat dinner and watch Jeopardy with my family, but wanted to say thanks for all the great content this year. Appreciate it, Rem Dog. Go enjoy that dinner. Go enjoy some Jeopardy. Nothing wrong with some Jeopardy, man. Sadly, I missed the Aspinal Shara fight. You got to go back and watch it. So, all right, guys, let's recap this card, and then we'll get into a little early look of 2026. And like I said, I'm going to be doing an award show, hopefully with Uncle Weezy. I'm going to ask Weezy if he wants to do it, but we're going to do an award show in 2 weeks. So let's take a look. Today's the 15th. It's going to be on the 29th of December. We'll do an award show. The Stat Diggers Award Show. I'm going to need your guys' help for some things for that. All right. So, yeah, I mean, we talked about this fight already. I mean, Jamie Lynn Horth versus Teresa Bleda. Bleda looked like crap. She had a 2.5-year layoff. She's training in fuzzy slippers. She showed up. She got hurt again. She had to be carried off into the locker room by her coach. We probably won't see her for another 2.5 years. And that's just the truth. We probably won't see her in about 2.5 years, Teresa Bleda. And I don't want to take like credit away from Horth, but it's like, Bleda just looks so bad. I think, pretty much anybody would have probably beaten Teresa Bleda that night. So yeah, Bleda looked completely awful. She looked washed, which is crazy because she's 23 years old. But that's what happens when you're dealing with a ton of injuries. And, it was the Sunday before these fights, about a week before the fight, somebody tagged me and Uncle Weezy on Twitter and brought up that Bleda is coming off of like a major injury. And he said that fighters coming off of, this, I think it was maybe an ACL. But yeah, fighters coming off of this injury, they don't win. And yeah, probably should have bet Horth. I just didn't want to bet on the fight. I just didn't want to bet on a fight like this with just too many red flags. I don't think Horth is that great. And like, who knows on the Bleda side. So yeah, Bleda looked horrible. Horth got a first round knockout. We move on. Guilherme Pat versus Alan Fry. So what I'll say is, I think, first of all, this fight was like impossible to tape. You had Pat fighting complete bums. You had 0 footage of Fry. You had 1 fight of Fry recorded on a flip phone. So it was like it kind of felt like a contender series fight to me. Like, but even even on Contender Series, you can maybe find some more footage than I found on this fight. So, kind of, first of all, I didn't want anything to do with it. Second of all, Fry, I think it did show some heart. I did think he showed some toughness. He came forward. He got the fight in the clinch multiple times. But yeah, on the feet, Pat looked really good. I thought he looked really sharp on the feet. The cardio didn't look good. The urgency didn't look good. The volume didn't look good. I mean, his volume was just horrible. It was a horrible, horrible fight. A lot of clinching. with a couple moments on the feet for Pat, and those couple moments was just a lot more than Fry did. Fry did absolutely nothing in the clinch, and Pat landed a couple strikes on the feet. And when he let his hands go, he looked very good. Looked very good. So I will be, looking to absolutely fade both these guys in the near future. Like, it's just hard to imagine Fry ever winning a fight, to be honest. Like, I can't imagine Fry winning a UFC fight if you can't win a UFC fight just clinching and doing absolutely nothing. And as far as Pat, like, the cardio looked horrible, the volume looked horrible. Just a horrible, terrible fight, Not a big fan of either one of these guys. Some legal help. Oh, Ilya, yeah. There's some stuff going around with Ilya. I don't know what to believe. Like, it's on Twitter, so I don't know what to believe. But apparently there is some stuff going on with Ilya. I think Brandon Royval's taken too much damage. Yeah, and there were some rumors that he's dealing with concussions, and that's not good. Dealing with concussions is not good, especially when you are getting hit in the head. Horth was that one all week. I was just so sure she would win. Still couldn't bet on her. Yeah, I would never touch a fight like that. But if I would, it probably would have had to been the plus money on Horth. I hit the fight starts round 2 at plus money here. Pat has 0 aggression, but he was the fave in total was juiced to the under, which made no sense. Yeah, the fight doesn't go to decision. It was like minus 500. Yeah, I think the over was a good look. But again, you're kind of just betting it blind because there's just no information on the Fry side. But yeah, even on the regionals, Pat was really low volume. Gil Hermain, I don't care what it's pronounced. I think it just had he just looked awful to me. But yeah, he looked better than Fry, though. He certainly looked better than Fry. Bleda had staph back-to-back on her finger, almost lost her finger. Then it came back worse, but this time on her knee. What the heck? Bleda's immune system has to be absolutely shot and depleted, and she had nothing to give. Yikes, man. Yeah, that's bad. And by the way, her money line got like steamed, I believe, up until I think she closed like minus 250, unless I'm thinking of another fight. But her money line got steamed late. All right, yeah, Lawana Santos, Melissa Croden. We touched on this one shortly. Like, I thought it was a pretty winnable fight for Croden. I think she just made some mistakes on the feet. She was clearly the better striker, having some success, but she kind of got drug into the Santos verse. She ended up in the clinch with Santos way too much. Ended up on her back. Ended up in the headlock for like 4 minutes. So yeah, Croden, I thought she showed some pretty poor fight IQ. It was clear that Santos probably the more skilled fighter. But yeah, Santos got the job done. Stephen Aspinall versus Sean Sheriff. This was my favorite fight of the night, and it did get fight of the night, rightfully so. This fight was awesome. Big props to both these guys. Big props to Sean Sheriff for showing some improved cardio. In the Tafa fight, he took that fight on short notice, and after the first 5 minutes, he was completely done. He had nothing left. This time, he had like 8.5 minutes left, right? It had a couple more minutes left and landed some big shots on Aspinall. And in the first round, he landed some very big shots on Aspinall. And Aspinall, this guy Aspinall has such a good chin on him and great cardio and great volume. And I think Aspinall's going to win a ton of fights in the UFC because he has probably better cardio than 90% of the division. He has better volume than 95, maybe even 100% of the division. And then he has, good toughness, durability. The only question mark would be with Aspinall is the grappling, the ground game, because his lone loss does come to Denzel Freeman by submission, where he got taken down in the second round and choked out shortly after. But yeah, Aspinall, I think, is going to be a problem for a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys are not going to be able to keep up with Aspinall over the course of, the fight. So yeah, Aspinall, shout out to him. Big fan of the guy, and I even advocated to put him on the White House card because why not? Let's put Stephen Aspinall on the White House card. Let's put him on the White House card, and let's see who should Stephen Aspinall. Who should he fight on the White House card? Let's take a look. What is this? It's making me log in. That's annoying. Maybe we bring Chris Barnett back. Chris Barnett, Stephen Asplin on the White House card. Stephen Asplin versus, I don't know. Asplin versus Barnett would be cool. I agree. Resign Barnett. He just got to win. He literally just got to win. I think it was Karate Combat. Josh Hokett. Yeah, Hokett's, I guess they were kind of going back and forth. Asplin versus Hokett. Asplin needs to fight Chase Sherman. Why not? That'd be fun. I think any time Asplin's going to be in there, it's going to be a fun fight. Luana Santos is Montserrat Ruiz is big sis. All the girl has is a stupid judo throw, and still somehow there's girls bad enough to lose to her. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when I was watching this fight. It's like, this is Montserrat Ruiz all over again. Asplin, happy he pulled through me as well, man. OMG Croden was the public dog of the week. She should have known to stay away from Croden. Yeah, I don't know who the public dog was, but maybe it was her. I don't know if anybody was betting on that fight. Asplin had an award-winning speech. Yeah, the speech was great. Stephen Asplin put me in a great mood after the Croden loss. The guy is one of us, average Joe with exceptional willpower and potential in the heavyweight division. Guy broke a UFC record for most strikes landed. That was incredible. Most strikes landed in a 3-round fight in the heavyweight division. Stephen Asplin. Yeah, he got cut. We got to bring him back, though. Alain Badeau definitely got cut. Let's not bring back Alain Badeau. Let's not do it. Ooh, let's do Stephen Asplin versus Jake Collier. Let's do that. Stephen Asplin went from 500 pounds to 265 pounds. Jake Collier did the reverse. He went from 185 pounds to 300 pounds. I think they'd be kind of interesting dynamic there. Stephen Asplin versus Jake Collier would be a phenomenal fight. Yeah, Parker. Yeah, let's get Parker Porter. I'm surprised he got cut in the first place. Everybody was a big fan of Parker Porter. Oh gosh, did they cut Cercari yet? I mean, he's been finished like 4 times. Have they cut him yet? I don't know what they see in that guy. But yeah, that was awesome. Joe Anderson Brito versus Isaac Thompson. So the one spot that really jumped out to me right away for this card was Joe Anderson Brito versus Melsik Bagdasaryan. And we even had Brito as the piping of the week. We had Brito in the Stat Diggers parlay. And I was going to have a big bet on Brito inside the distance at -110 against Melsik. Really loved that matchup for him. And then in steps Isaac Thompson, and Thompson's very good. I think Thompson made a really good account for himself on a couple days' notice. This guy Thompson has really good wins outside the UFC. Has fought good competition outside the UFC, and he's shown that he absolutely belongs. And yeah, it was pretty competitive. Thompson did slow down as the fight went on, which is to be expected for taking the fight on a couple of days' notice. But I thought Thompson looked really good early. Landed a big shot on Brito early in the first round. Looked like it dropped him. Yeah, Thompson, I think, is going to win a lot of fights in the UFC, and he's somebody to absolutely look out for. But yeah, Brito gets the job done. I would say let's run back Brito versus Melsik, but I doubt Melsik just didn't want to fight. I'm not sure what happened officially with Melsik, but he just didn't want to fight Brito. Brito fumbled the finish. I thought he could have thrown more for a TKO. I mean, he was when he was throwing, he was loading up, but Thompson seemed to eat those shots pretty well. And then he was getting a little bit sloppy on the mat, Brito. But yeah, it was a fun fight. I didn't have any action on it. Yaroslav Amosov going against Neil Magny. And yeah, I really liked Amosov this week. I liked him by submission. And I'm just glad that Amosov did not find himself into the Magnyverse. I'm glad that justice was finally served for what happened in the Jake Matthews fight. Amosov subbed Neil Magny, and he subbed him with, about 2 minutes to spare. So the ref couldn't restart the fight. There'd be no reason to restart the fight. And Amosov gets the submission. And yeah, I bet the fight doesn't go to decision, but I was looking at the fight ends by sub. I was looking at Amosov by sub. And Yeah, this guy's the real deal. 29-1. Amosov. The striking looked pretty solid for the limited time we saw him on the feet against Magny. And then we saw once he gets on top, just smothering top control, aggressive on the mat, looking for finishes. I mean, this guy has like 21 finishes. So, yeah, I think Amosov is going to, probably jump right into that top 15. He got past the ultimate gatekeeper and Neil Magny, and Amosov is going to be somebody to look out for. And as far as Magny, I will continue to fade him until he retires. But yeah, shout out to Amosov for not going into the Magniverse. That was awesome. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Bobby to go with the 139.99. Look at this. Shout out to Bobby, man. Shout out to Bobby. This is why I'm going to continue content. It's stuff like this. This is why I'm not taking 6 weeks off. This is why I didn't even take like 3 days off because of stuff like this. My guy Bobby, he says, "Merry Christmas. Thanks for the content over the years and fun in the Discord. Wishing you and your family all the best in the new year. Make sure to get something nice for the kiddo." Well, I'll tell you what, Bobby, I wasn't going to get the kiddo shit. But now after this, I'm going to go out and get him some. No, I just kidding. I already got him a lot, but I will go get him something extra. Shout out to Bobby for the $139 dono. Appreciate you, Bobby. Means a ton, man. And yeah, appreciate you being in the Discord as well. Going to keep trying to grow the Discord in 2026. Going to be doing a lot of content on dfsbythenumbers.com. And glad to have you in there. Shout out Bobby, man. Shout out Bobby. Big support. Absolutely. May the Lord return it to you multiple. Yeah. May it help you cash some tickets for 2026, my guy. Shout out to Bobby. All right. So I think we're at the main card. King Green, Lance Gibson Jr. And I'm watching this fight, and the whole time, the only thing I can think about is, holy crap, I can't wait to fade. I can't wait to fade King Green. Give him somebody not named Lance Gibson Jr. And I think he gets served pretty violently. I don't know. I didn't think Green looked that great. It's just I thought Lance Gibson Jr. just went out there and like pulled a William Knight. I don't know what the game. Like even the announcers were like, "What's the game plan here for Lance Gibson Jr.? What are you doing, Lance Gibson Jr.?" But yeah, Green won. They called it a split. I don't know about that. I mean, I thought it was a 29-28 Green. But yeah, I guess one of the judges scored it for Lance Gibson Jr. I'm going to take a look to see who that one judge was. Because whoever that judge was probably needs arrested. So that judge was Camijo. Wow. Camijo. 29-28 Gibson. Very interesting. Camijo's been doing this for a while. Oh, Kennedy Nzechukwu, Marcus Buchecha. Just awful. Just a horrible, terrible fight. I mean, I think a draw just completely makes sense. I mean, it was just a terrible fight. Buchecha won round one. He looked okay, I guess. Wasn't able to really get into many dominant positions. Wasn't really able to go for many submissions. And he gassed out, and Kennedy took over. Or did Kennedy win round one? I don't know. It's all a blur because it was so. I think Kennedy won round one. Buchecha won round two. And then at round three, I guess Kennedy won because he ended up on top. And then there was the point deduction. So it was a draw. Regardless, it was a horrible fight. I think I fell asleep during it. Buchecha looked awful. Kennedy looked awful. Cut them both. I'm done with the Kennedy and Nzechukwu experience. It's not a fun experience. I don't recommend this experience. And get them both out of the UFC. I don't want to see them ever again. Brady, get your kid some Topps cards packs to open. Just don't steal the best cards if they don't know who they are. He's too young for the trading cards, but what he does like is they have those UFC little action figures, and I have a bunch of those. So I gave him like John Jones, Amanda Nunes, They got Rose Namajunas. They got Dricus du Plessis. I gave him a bunch of those little tiny action figures, and he likes playing with those. Yeah, talk about the green. It was just terrible. They said his coach was his dad, and he told him to stay on the outside and move around. I think the guy needs a more legit team, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not sure he's a UFC caliber fighter. With that said, though, he still won on one of the judges' scorecards against King Green. Like, if this was a couple of years ago, I think Green would have kind of ran through him. But the fight was somewhat competitive. I don't know how you can score that fight for Gibson. I mean, you really can. You really can't score for Gibson. Bleda dislocated her knee. She had no chance, my brother. No, I knew she had no chance after I saw the training footage of her in fuzzy slippers. You know, once we saw that, I mean, we should have put the house on Horth, but no, money poured in on Bleda throughout the week. Bleda closes like a massive favorite, like minus 250 by the time the fight kicked off. Bobby is the MVP. Agreed. Shout out Bobby. Vucec and Zicheko are both terrible. Yeah, I mean, really bad. Both Vucec fights have just been dreadful to watch. And then Kennedy, he's just so inconsistent. Sometimes he looks good, but on any given night, this guy can lose to OSP, who's 50. He could get knocked out by an invisible strike against Da Un Jung. It's just disgusting. Even the fans lost in the Kennedy Vucec fight. Agreed. McDonald's is hiring. Regal Cinemas is hiring. Target and Walmart are also options. I think Kennedy would do really well at Target because he has those long arms, can stock the top shelves. Brady, I tried to date a girl with the last name Gibson once, but I accidentally pressed the phone button on Facebook thinking it would show me her number, but instead I started calling her. I freaked out and hung up. Oh my gosh, is that a thing? I don't know. I don't get on Facebook anymore. It was an ass off, yeah. Who was more ass? They're about the same. It was a draw. Tell the truth, you brought. I mean, if there was a Liang Na action figure, I would have had it already. I got the Liang Na wig. Well, I did have the Liang Na wig. I threw it away after she got cut. But yeah, we need to get Liang Na back in the UFC because Liang Na is on like a 3-fight winning streak, all by submission, all 3 different submissions. So, yeah, I'm gonna make a petition. I think over these next 6 weeks, head out to Vegas, head out to Dana, and try to get at least 100 signatures to get Liang Na back in the UFC. How could Buchecha be so harmless on the ground? Isn't the guy a BJJ champ? Yeah. I think it might be a cardio thing potentially. He has like 2 minutes of gas, it looks like. There's unranked UFC fighters with more dangerous ground game. That's I know. I don't know what's up with Buchecha, man. But yeah, Mel Costa versus Morgan Charrier, disgusting head kick knockout, kind of out of nowhere. I was actually looking forward to watching this fight. I thought it'd been a very fun fight, and it was for about a minute, and then boom, head kick. Morgan Charrier gets knocked out for the first time in 33, 34 fights, which is crazy because Morgan Charrier has fought some really good competition in and outside the UFC. So for that to be the first time Charrier has been knocked out was very impressive. Mel Costa keeps on winning. Mel Costa keeps on winning these fights. Shout out to Mel Costa. He had a great 2025. He knocked out Morgan Charrier by head kick. Somehow he didn't finish Juliana Rosa. But he beat Christian Rodriguez as a dog. He submitted Andre Feely in the first round. He's on a 5-fight win streak. Last loss that came to Steve Garcia. So yeah, shout out to Mel Costa, man. Very impressive stuff for this guy. Very impressive stuff. All right. Cesare Olazechuk versus Cesar Almeida. God, the ads on Tapology are freaking insane. Yeah, was it the most exciting fight? No, absolutely not. But I guess Olazechuk in his post-fight conference, he talked about how he got hurt in the fight, and that's kind of what led him to use this game plan. So yeah, it was a horrible fight. It was horrible. It was boring, but he got the win, and he took the path of least resistance, which I kind of like seeing. It's not too often we see a fighter where they have a clear path and they take that clear path over the course of 15 minutes. Like we really never see that. Melissa Mullins comes to mind, where it's like, take down Daria Zelenkova and you win the fight. But instead she stands with her. So Olazechuk just took down Almeida, who got out-grappled by Roman Kopylov and won a pretty easy 30-27. So, yeah, Olazechuk, I think he's going to do great things in the UFC. I think his next fight is going to be hopefully a lot more fun. Because, you watch his fights, he's never doing that, ever. He does have some submissions, actually, off his back. But he's really never going out there and humping somebody's leg for 15 minutes. So I think it might have been maybe a little bit of game plan, a little bit of he did get hurt and had to make an adjustment. But regardless, he got the win. But yeah, hoping the next fight's a lot more fun and exciting. Yeah, you got to like that. You got to like it when fighters use an advantage. When fighters use an advantage, because they don't a lot of times. They don't. Yeah, me too. It's actually crazy. You have Mikhail Olazechuk who can't grapple at all. And then you got Cesar Olazechuk, who showed that he could do that, and he can strike. Cesar Olazechuk, and this guy's going to be a problem to deal with. Looking forward to seeing what both him and Michelle do in the near future. Took Oleg by decision, and I was sweating during round 1, but the ground and pound stopped after that. I didn't really see any ground and pound. I don't think it was a sweat. I did pick Olazechuk by decision. I didn't expect it to play out like that, though. But I thought, yeah, he could mix in the occasional takedown here and there, but was not expecting a 15-minute lay and pray. But yeah, I was looking at the over. I was looking at the fight goes. I was looking at Olazechuk by decision, all that stuff. Kevin Vallejos versus Giga Chikadze. And yeah, Giga was actually looking pretty good, man. In the first round, I was getting a little worried for Vallejos because Giga was landing some nasty kicks to the body. And Vallejos wasn't looking too hot, but he started pressuring forward, and they got that nasty spinning back fist. Dropped Giga, and then he pounced on him. Got on top, landed some vicious elbows, and put poor Giga Chikadze out. So yeah, shout out to Vallejos. Great performance. Heck yeah. That was not an easy fight by any means. It was priced as if it was an easy fight. Giga's no walkover. Giga's tough as nails. Giga's never been knocked out. And Vallejos was the first person to knock out Giga Chikadze. So I got to give Vallejos a lot of props on that one. The fight looked like Ko versus Phil Rowe. Yeah, it did. The Olazechuk Almeida fight. Yeah. And shout out to Ko. I think they just matched Ko up with somebody for early 2026. Jacoby Smith. I think they did Ko versus Jacoby Smith, which is kind of a weird matchmaking, but I'm looking forward to that. Ko's like Khabib out there. Just take you down and just dominate you. Giga getting slimed out like that was not what I expected. Yeah, I kind of leaned Vallejos by decision, maybe like a late finish. But yeah, that was an incredible finish by Vallejos. He got performance of the night, and rightfully so. He absolutely deserved it. Excellent performance, Vallejos. Agreed. The Unks have been getting milked lately. Yeah, they have been. We saw poor Edson Barbosa back at UFC 323. Got absolutely destroyed against Jalen Turner. And then the main event, Manel Kape versus Brandon Royval. Yeah, I was looking at Kape by knockout all week. Didn't get to it. But he knocked out Royval in the first round. And yeah, Royval leaves a lot of openings, and Kape found that opening, and Kape knocked him out, caught him in the first round, put him out. Thought it was a good stoppage. And Kape looks like Kape's gonna be next for a title shot. They're talking about doing Manel Kape versus Joshua Van in Houston in 2026 in February, and that'd be a fun fight. Kape versus Van would be a very fun fight because kind of like Royval. Like what I liked about this fight And why I thought it'd be so fun is because Royval's kind of going to make Cop fight him. Sometimes Cop can kind of be patient, like in the Pantoja fight, in the Mokaya fight, and some other the Nicolau fight. He can be a little bit too patient in there, but Royval's kind of make him fight, and he did, and Cop knocked him out, and Van's gonna kind of make him fight. So it's gonna be a fun fight if they make that fight, the Cop versus Van fight in Houston. But yeah, Cop's good. I mean, Cop's a little bit of a head case, but he's a good fighter nonetheless. Brady, can we just please take a moment to cuss out all of the phonies that were on X tweeting that the Amosov versus Magny fight was also off, not just the Lemos Robertson fight. I took Amosov all out. Yeah, I was kind of upset. I saw that the Amosov fight might have been off, and then like that was I only had one bet on the card, and it was on that fight. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, because you got to be kidding me. But luckily the fight stayed on. But yeah, like I said, you can never know what to trust on Twitter unless it's tweeted by Big Marcel. Big Marcel is literally the only person you can trust these days. Jacoby versus Ko should be fun if Jacoby can handle the wrestling. We're going to see, man. Nobody's been able to handle the wrestling of Ko. Apparently, he's Khabib Nurmagomedov. I don't know how there's even a discussion about Tyra. Should definitely be K. I think it'll be Cobb, for sure. I think it'll be. In Houston, yeah, I would like that. I'm okay with either, to be honest, but I think Cop versus Van makes a lot of sense to me. That Bobby Green fight was hilarious. I don't know what it was. Bobby Green hands down the whole time, talking to him the whole time. I don't know. I can't wait to fade Green in the very near future. Sadly, they're going to give it to Tyra. Maybe. I mean, I'm sure they want to build Tyra up for sure. But like I said, I'm fine with either one. How do you line Cop versus Van? I think Cop slight favorite would make sense to me. Tyra's looking like Japan's first UFC champ. Yeah, he very well could be. All right. So yeah, that was the recap of UFC Vegas 112. I mean, I thought the first couple fights were just weird, and Horth got a finish. I mean, that's cool, I guess. But later looked awful. The Pat fight stunk. The Croden Santos fight stunk. Just a head and arm throw. Asplin Sharaf was awesome. The Mosov Magny I liked. The Costa knockout was awesome. The Vallejos knockout was awesome, and the Cop fight was pretty fun for as long as it lasts. So it was kind of one of those cards where there was like 6 really fun and exciting fights, and there was also 6 fights that kind of stunk up the place, and the pacing was pretty rough. The pacing was very rough for UFC Vegas 112. I mean, the main card didn't kick off until like 10 o'clock. And they're acting like it's a pay-per-view. Those are pay-per-view times. The fights didn't get done to like 1 o'clock. I'm like, what's going on? Why am I watching Kennedy and Nzechukwu versus Marcus Buchecha at 12 o'clock at night? All right. So there's that. We'll take a quick look into UFC 324 and UFC 325 in a second. But in 2 weeks, I am doing a award show. We're going to do the Stat Diggers Award Show. And I need your guys' help, because I need help finding out who to put for some of these options. So let's start with Fighter of the Year. Who are your guys' Fighters of the Year for 2025? A couple options I have. I think we could put Merab there potentially. Merab Dvalishvili had a very good year. I think he would have been easily Fighter of the Year had he not lost to Petr Yan. But even with that loss to Petr Yan, I think he won 3 other fights, title fights. I think Merab had a very good year. Kind of a weird one. I think Waldo Cortes Acosta. I mean, this guy's accepting short notice fights. There was even another time he was actually supposed to fight it. It didn't come through, but I mean, Waldo Cortes Acosta has been super active. Knocked out Ante Dalia. Knocked out Shamil Gaziv. Waldo Cortes Acosta potentially fighter of the year. Mel Costa, who we talked about on this card, Mel Costa, I think he went 4-0, ended the year with a brutal knockout. We can go to Poria. Let me know what you guys think for potential fighter of the year. Ilya. Yeah, right now I have Ilya up there as a potential option for fighter of the year. Waldo had a crazy year. Yeah, respect to Waldo Cortez. I'll never forget losing a knockout. I bet a knockout prop for Waldo minus 150 for him to knock out Andrei Arlovsky, and it didn't hit. He was doing the salsa dance the whole time, and after that fight, I hated the guy. But I'm starting to warm back up to Waldo Cortez Acosta. Ooh, Jerry, I like that. Jerry Prohashka. Jerry cashed me one of my best bets of 2025. I had the fight ends by knockout and Jerry Roundtree, and then I had Jerry by knockout in rounds 2 or rounds 3. So yeah, forever thankful for Jerry's performance against Roundtree. That was one of my favorite fights of the year. Melk's post-fight speech was dope and got ruined by the translator. Might have cost him his $50K. I didn't watch the post-fight speech, so I don't know. I go Jerry. Yeah, maybe I could put Jerry in there. But instead of who, though? Because I can put Jerry in there. But yeah, fighter of the year. Rob, Alex, Pereira. Yeah, Alex. Unk of the year. I like that one. I'm gonna put that. Unk of the year. Let's do it. Because I do need some more categories. I do need some more. Right now I have 12 categories for the Stat Diggers Award show. Half of them are serious and half of them are not serious at all. I think I'm going to surprise you guys with the kind of the funny ones. Waldo one with one eye. Yeah, Walter Walker. Yeah, this dude's heel hooking everybody. Mirzakhanov, that's another good one. There's a lot of good ones. Yeah, Van could be on there. You got that right. Sylvie Curse of the year. I already have Get Some Help of the year. I already have that. I already have that as well. All right. So, see, I think fighter of the year got pretty much down. What do you guys like for upset of the year? Like according to, it doesn't necessarily be according to the odds, but maybe like an upset. They're like, wow, how the heck did this happen? I think some good examples could be Piotr Jan versus Merab Dvalishvili. I mean, Merab was a pretty big fit, like minus 500. I don't think a lot of people were expecting Merab to go out there and lose the way he did. I think Piotr Jan could potentially be upset of the year. Another one that stuck out to me was Daniel Rodriguez versus Kevin Holland. I thought there was no way that Kevin Holland would be losing to D-Rod. So I like D-Rod there. What else? Ooh, Muslim Salikov versus Carlos Leal. Potential upset of the year. I was not expecting that. Old man Salikov. Like Leal was like minus 600 and Salikov went out there and just sparked him. That was ridiculous. D-Rod. Ooh. Yes. That's a great one. That is a great one. That's why I need your guys' help. I like that call. Yeah, that was crazy. Barcelo versus Talbot, great one. Jan versus Merab, yep. I think that was one of the best upsets of the year. Holland, I mean, dude, Holland, he didn't cost me like 100. He cost me like maybe 10 to 15 units. Like, I don't know. I was very confident that Holland could beat 40-year-old D-Rod. Yeah, Johnson versus Zellhuber. That was on the same card, dude. It was like back to back, and even like Pitbull Ige, like that. Ige was a pretty big favorite. There was 3 massive upsets, I think back to back to back on that card is ridiculous. Diego being Gene Silva, that was a nice one. That was a nice upset. Unk of the year. Okay, I'll put Barcelos down to Unk of the year. But yeah, what else do we got? What do you guys think about comeback fighter of the year? Comeback. I did that as well, something like that. Comeback fighter of the year. Who's the comeback fighter of the year? For me, I only could think of 2 off the top of my head. I'm gonna need you guys' help for the other 2. I put Kyoji Horiguchi, potential comeback fighter of the year. This guy was out of the UFC for years, and then he comes back, and not only to come back, but to put on the type of performance he did against a very good fighter in Tagir Ulanbekov. I thought Horiguchi, potential comeback fighter of the year. And then I also put Jalen Turner. I put Jalen Turner on there as well. This guy retired. He came back, and he went out there and just I thought he was gonna kill poor Edson Barbosa. But yeah, those are kind of the 2 that stuck out to me. why is Modestas Bukauskas catching a stray? Yeah, but that fight was that was like the fixing of the year. Comeback. Oh, I like it. I like that. Comeback fighter of the year, Piotr Jan, potentially. I don't mind that. Because this guy was on top of the world a couple of years ago, and there was the Aljamain Sterling illegal knee. Then he lost that close decision. Ayman Zahabi, Unk of the year. I'll throw him on there. I'll throw Zahabi on there. Yuri. Mate, I mean, what did Yuri come back from, though? I mean, Yuri's always been the man. For sure, Yuri after getting Chen twice. Yeah, that's fair. Getting the belt back after multiple title losses has to be a first. Yeah, Jan. Yeah, I like that call. Is Macy Barber considered a comeback? I suppose it could be considered a comeback. She ended up in the hospital, pulled out of a fight like 15 minutes before. I kind of like this one, Dom Reyes. But then he got served brutally against Carlos Ulberg. But yeah, Dom did come back for a second. Get help fighter of the year, Daniel Zellhuber, Gabby Donovan nominated at least. Yeah, we'll see. Holland is on there. Holland is on there. Khalil was beating on year. Yeah, that was incredible. Yeah, I thought Reyes was back, and then boom. Oh, jeez. I like this one. Alex Pereira. He lost the belt to Magomed Ankalaev, came back and finished him in like a minute. I don't mind that. Move fighter of the year. Move fighter. Dumas. I don't know if I have Dumas on there. I got to put Dumas on one of these. I don't have Dumas. I got to put Dumas on one of these categories. All right, so we talked about Unk of the year. We talked about fighter of the year, upset of the year. What about rookie of the year? This is another fun one. Rookie of the year. I think there's a lot of different options for rookie of the year. Rookie of the year, Quinlan Salkeld. One of the nastiest knockouts of the year against poor Nasrat Haqparast. Had a great performance against Yanal Ashmos as well. Malcolm Wellmaker, I think, would have easily taken rookie of the year. Easily. Would have walked right into it had he not lost to Ethan Ewing on short notice. But I think still we can nominate Malcolm Wellmaker. Why not Stephen Asplund? He's making the heavyweight division great again. You'll never see heavyweights with that cardio, that pace, that volume. Shout out to Stephen Asplund. I think we can make a case for him potentially being rookie of the year. Kevin Vallejos, another good option. He has multiple wins, multiple knockouts, a great knockout against Giga. There's a lot of options for Rookie of the Year. Ewing, yeah, he did win one fight, but I mean he was a massive dog. It was a great performance. Sal killed. Morale, do we call him a rookie? I don't know if we call him a rookie. He's been in the UFC for a couple years now. I want somebody like new. Yeah, that's a good one. Ateba Godier, that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one there. And by the way, did you see what fight they made? I think it's on UFC 324. Ateba Godier versus Andrei Polaev. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They're going to try to get somebody killed? Like, who sanctioned that fight? Who sanctioned that fight? Who sanctioned something like that? Kevin Vallejos? Yeah. I'm stuck between, should I do Steven Aspinal or Ateba Godier for potential Rookie of the Year nominee? Aspinal or Godier? Because Godier's had a couple good knockouts, but against like horrible competition. I don't know. No, no. Is Jubilee your picture there? Oh, I don't know about that. Yep, Milking of the Year is definitely one. Vallejos, Jacoby Smith, maybe. I mean, I didn't like his performance against Nico Price, but yeah, Jacoby Smith solid. R.I.P. Pulayev. R.I.P. Pul. Worst ref of the year. I actually did best ref of the year. I didn't do worst ref of the year because we already knew who that was. Godier. Yeah, that makes sense. He has, I think he had 3 knockouts, maybe 4. 3 or 4 knockouts in the year of 2025, and they're all brutal. So yeah, that makes sense. Ooh, I don't mind this one. David Martinez, that's a good one. That's true. Yeah, that's true. But Asplin's just such a likable guy. Brady Real Talk, how long before we see a legit dead body in the octagon? Probably the Godier Polaev fight. I think we'll see it in early 2026. I can't do this one because like they're all horrible. So it would have to be like, it'd just be a tie. It'd be like a 16-way tie. All right, what else we got? So we talked about Rookie of the Year. Oh, the William Knight Performance of the Year. Denzel Freeman. The William Knight Performance of the Year is a performance where you just go out there and do nothing. You just go out there and do nothing for 15 minutes. And that's exactly what Denzel Freeman did. Michel Pereira versus Abu Smagomedov went out there and just did nothing. Oh, yes. Yes, thank you. I need to fill this out for the show. You guys are helping me out. Perfect. Strickland DDP2. I mean, I don't know. Like Strickland like tried to fight. I think just DDP outclassed him. Wait, what? No. You're saying JDM had a William Knight Performance of the Year? That's crazy, man. I don't know about that. Yes. What was that? Yeah, Kevin Borjas versus Sumidarji. That was horrible. I like that. That was a horrible performance by Kevin. I couldn't believe what I was watching. That Sumidarji fight. Yeah, Kevin Borjas. You just pulled a William Knight, my friend. Joseph Morales for what? For rookie of the year. Yeah, I like that. He had the Ultimate Fighter win in Chicago. I was there live. Great performance. And then he submitted match. I don't mind that. Hamdi, that's a good one. DDP had a terrible performance against Chimaev in Chicago. Yeah, I was there for that as well. It was not a fun fight. Montel Jackson versus Figgy. That's another good one. He did just nothing over the course of 15 minutes. So what do you guys think for referee of the year? I put my 4 options. It's kind of tough. Like, I don't know. One thing I'll say about referee of the year is, I think Keith Peter. Wait 1 second. I like this one. I like that for comeback of the year. Joseph Morales. I like that. I'm gonna take that. Thank you, because I needed one more actually, so that's perfect. That's a great comeback fighter of the year. Absolutely. Appreciate that, Nathan. But yeah, I was gonna say, like, I used to crap on Keith Peterson for like 2 years straight a couple years ago, and he would just like let fighters die in there. But it kind of seems like Keith Peterson's turned it around. I thought Keith Peterson had a very good year. I think this is the year Keith Peterson is truly no nonsense. I truly think that. So I thought Keith Peterson had a very good year this year. Other than that, I mean, you got your Herb Deans, you got your Mark Smiths, your Chris Tiones, your Mark Goddards. They're all, I mean, they're all whatever, Wait, rookie of the year might be my girl, Crispy Carly Judice. Yeah, I like that one too. Do you have my notes? How do you know? How do you know the categories? Because that actually is a category. Herzog is not even on the list for referee of the year. I'm not putting him on the list. Mark Smith, yeah, Mark Smith kind of underrated. I don't have him on the list, but I think Mark Smith's fine. And I'm kind of in agreement. I think it could be Keith Peterson. I thought he's had a really good year, a really consistent year. Keith Peterson. Everyone else, I instantly think of a call they messed up. Keith has been doing, I can't off the top of my head think of a fight this year where I'm like, Keith Peterson, what are you doing? Keith Peterson, stop drinking so much. Stop smoking too many cigarettes. What are you doing? I think Keith Peterson had a great year. Herzog is finally getting the flack he deserved all along. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I've been calling it out for the last year and a half. But at UFC 323, I think he did fine outside of the Zion Sadikov stoppage. I mean, I just go back to the Yang Xiaonan Zhang Weili fight where Yang Xiaonan was literally out cold, and Herzog actually helped her to the corner, but he stops the Sadikov fight. I just thought that was weird. But I think we're going to see maybe a much better version of Herzog in 2026. A lot of eyes on him now. Yeah, people don't like Chris Tione. People don't like Chris Tione. I like Tione. I think Tione's hilarious, personally. He's and Tione's like all for fighter safety. Like, he'll stop a fight early. He'll cash in under for me. Blake Grease was the referee in several UFC fights this year. I've been following his career for years because he's a good friend of mine. His record is flawless. Blake Grease rhymes with rice. So is it Grice? Yeah, he's good, man. Gary Copeland's horrible, dude. I mean, Gary Copeland's terrible. Was Gary Copeland the ref that almost killed Bobby Green versus Jalen Turner? Oh gosh. Skinny Guram, ref of the year. Yeah, I don't even know his name, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Jalton Almeida. Yeah, that fight was awful. Almeida versus that fight took years off my life. Chris Tione talking smack to Matt Schnell to his face. I mean, that was the best moment of all time. Kerry Hatley. Yeah, Kerry Hatley. Get some help, Kerry Hatley. Get some help, Kerry Hatley. That's right. Gary Copeland was the one that I think stopped the. He did something. He screwed me over one of these weeks. I forget which one it was. Jalen Turner was Kerry Hatley. He has a lot of questionable moments. I think he's just old and not sure. Nobody ever mentions him. Yeah. Agreed. Bit behind, but Benoit Saint Denis for the comeback of the year. His 2024 was awful when he turned it around. Yeah, I like that. I don't know who I would replace. I do like that. But it'd kind of be between him or Piotr Jan. So I don't know. But that's another good one. Benoit Saint Denis. Is Sean O'Malley or Patty the safest move in terms of betting perspective? I actually have lines out. Let's see. Well, they got Patty Pimblett minus 200, and then Sean O'Malley minus about the same line. You get minus 185 on Sean O'Malley. I think it's a good matchup for both. I think they both win. And I'll definitely have some action on the Gaethje Pimblett fight. I think there's going to be some really good ways to target that fight. Maybe some violence. I guess Pimblett should really beat Gaethje outside of him getting clipped early. Like if he gets the fight down to the mat once, it's over, right? Copeland stopped. Yeah, Copeland stopped the Kyle Nelson fight a little bit too early. Move fighter of the year. I did something like that. What else do I got here? Probably not going to do this one. Milking of the year. Any milking of the years that come to mind for you guys? Where somebody just got drowned, somebody got milked, somebody got taken down, somebody got smothered, and finished. A couple ones that come to mind: Sean Brady versus Leon Edwards, potential milking. Anthony Hernandez versus Roman Dolidze, potential milking. The first milking we ever did was Carlos Leal versus Alex Morono. DDP got milked. He did. I just wish there would have been like a finish, but he did get milked. He definitely got milked. Ooh, I like that one a lot. I like that one a lot. I'm going to put that one in there. Fluffy versus Pereira, was that this year? I don't think it was. Let me check. I think it might have been late last year. Let's see. No, wait. Yeah, that was late last year. Actually, October of last year. But that was a milking. That was an absolute milking. St. Denis Roofie, yeah. That was a milking. But yeah, this was the definition of a milking. RDR, Brennan Allen. I mean, RDR couldn't even stand up. Kayla Harrison's sexiest fighter of the year or sexist? Sexist or sexiest? Yep. There you go. That's how you get that money line down. BSD Roofie, great call. Yeah, got milked. Hamzat versus DDP or Islam Makhachev versus JDM, both got milked. Oh yeah, Mark Beltran. Has he made mistakes this year? I don't know. We haven't really seen Beltran a ton this year, have we? Seen him a few times. I don't know. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. Yep, Allah's milked. Gamrot. Yep. That was beautiful. I kind of like Beltran. I think he's funny. He'll like yell at the fighters. Is Gene Silva a lock? I don't know. Arnold Allen's pretty good, but I would lean Gene Silva's way. I mean, some of the shots that Gene Silva was landing on Diego Lopez like knocks out 90% of the division. I don't know how Lopez was eating some of those shots. Yeah, Arnold Allen's a really good fighter. So I wonder if they had the line out for that. Silva minus 220. And maybe even a little bit too wide. Minus 220. Kind of like that opener, like minus 150. All right, let's see what else we got, and then we'll kind of move on. Any other categories you guys think we should go with? Any other? It could be funny, it could be serious. Any other categories for the award show? Ozempic of the year. Yeah, Peterson looks completely different. Not that this says much, but Gene Silva would have beat Giga way worse. I mean, yeah, Silva would have destroyed Giga. Agreed. I kind of already have that with the Who Needs to Get Help segment. I have a Who Needs to Get the Most Help for the year. So I kind of already have that. Letdown of the year. Letdown of the year. Like the most hype fight that failed to deliver. There was a couple letdown cards of the year for me. Downfall of the year. Most fixed by the UFC, or most effed by the UFC of the year. The gown is going to get countered, yeah. Best shin of the year. Holloway. Stephen Wynn dropping Yaya 10 times is a generational milking. I don't know what that was. I don't know what the heck that was. Dick swing of the year. Let's see if I have something like that already. Yeah, let's do that. We'll call it the swing your dick fight of the year. Swing your dick fight of the year. Right off the bat, we got to put Ibo Aslan versus Iwu Baraninski for swing your dick. Who was that one? The guy with the knee sleeves. Hyder Emil versus who do you swing dicks with? He swung dicks with somebody. Every Rebexy fight. Are you gonna do your best worst bets of the year? I could do something like that. I have to go through and look. But yeah, I can go through and look, potentially do something like that. What was the sanctioned murder? I already have like a piping of the year, which is kind of like a sanctioned murder. Should I scoop up Waldo at minus 226? Who's Waldo fighting? Derek Lewis? I mean, I just don't like betting Derek Lewis fights personally, because it's like I never pick Derek Lewis to win a fight ever, but sometimes he wins fights that you don't expect. So I don't personally bet on Lewis fights, but it's hard not to imagine Acosta winning the fight. I mean, it's a really bad matchup for Lewis. Acosta is like extremely durable. I already have that. I already got that one. I like that call. Sadikov versus Moda. I like that call. Jose Delgado versus Hyder Emil. That was a pretty good one. Chris Duncan versus McKinney. Yeah, they swung dicks for a little bit. Or Chris Duncan versus Rebexky. Moda Sadikov swung. They did. Yep, there was a little bit of swinging for a second. Iwu. Waldo is how Derek gets a title shot in 2026. You can never count out Derek Lewis, no matter what. Oh, I've talked about it. Alvarez versus Vicente Luque. I've talked about it quite a bit. Yep, Ibu dick swing. There has to be what was that one fight Was it Cody Steele versus Rong Zhu? I think where they just swung dicks for like 15 minutes. I think that's another dick swinging fight. Derek Lewis should lose on paper. Costa is durable, faster, more well-rounded. And it's funny because it's like every Derek Lewis fight, it's like fighter A has the better cardio, the better striking, the better wrestling, the better durability. And then Lewis has won a lot of fights, so it's hard to count him out. But yeah, I agree. And that being said, Lewis first round KO. Yeah, that Steele fight was sick. Yes, there we go. Van versus Royval. That's the one I'm looking for. There we go. All right, I think I got these all done. So got to put all these slides together, get the graphics all good. I'm hitting my graphics guy for the 2025 Stat Diggers Award Show. Gonna hit up Uncle Weezy. Hopefully Weezy can join me. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 categories. Half are like funny, half are like kind of serious. All right. So let's move on to UFC 324. Kind of give my thoughts on these fights. I haven't taped any fights yet. I was thinking about actually taping some fights yesterday because I'm so used to taping fights on Sundays. Decided not to, but I'm gonna probably tape a couple of these fights this week, and I'm gonna even maybe get out some early breakdowns, some video uploads throughout the week. I'm probably gonna break down Gaethje Pimblett this week, and maybe I'll break down maybe the Waldo fight, and then maybe do a couple more next week. But yeah, this card's really good. You know, we're starting Paramount out on a great note. I mean, this is a very good card. Very, very good card to start off the year. We'll kind of go through it one by one and kind of get your guys' thoughts on it. Again, I've done zero research. Why should I? It's in 6 weeks. But Ricky Turcios, Cameron Smotherman. Turcios, I'll never forget his performance against Ayman Zahabi. And it was funny because I was hyping up Turcios. I was hyping this guy up, man. I was like, this guy is gonna be a DFS monster. I mean, this guy throws so much volume. He's nonstop. And then he went out there and shadow boxed for 15 minutes. It was one of the worst performances I think I've ever seen in my entire life from Ricky Turcios. And since then, he really hasn't been all that. Cameron Smotherman is a guy that I kind of have been looking to fade, but you know, I think he definitely has more upside than Turcios. I'm curious where they're going to line this. I'm almost guaranteeing Smotherman's going to be the favorite, but how much of a favorite will Smotherman be? Just because Turcios, I don't know. I just don't think Turcios is that great. And although I do want to fade Smotherman, I think Smotherman is improving the takedown defense. I do think he's improving the ground game. I thought Smotherman performed admirably against Ricky Simone. And yeah, the striking of Smotherman is pretty good. So yeah, I think Smotherman's probably the slight favorite. But yeah, to be honest, I'm not a fan of either one of these guys. Good category, Bobby. Oh, most anticipated fight that got canceled. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Hooker versus Gaethje. BSD versus Alvarez. Mahacha versus Armin. Oh, I mean, we already know the answer, Bobby. The most anticipated fight that got canceled, in my opinion, was Fluffy versus RDR. Could you imagine? Could you imagine what Fluffy would have done to RDR? I think RDR would still be laying on the canvas. I mean, if Fluffy fought RDR would still be laying. He wouldn't be able to get up. He would not have the energy to even get back up. But you're right. I mean, BSD versus Alvarez. I hope they make that fight in the future. That would be an absolute banger. Mahacha versus Armin. That's a good fight. Hooker versus Gaethje. I mean, that's a crazy fight too. You're right. We had a ton of really good fights got canceled, but for me, it's Fluffy versus RDR. I was really looking forward to that fight. We got Colby Saul in the building. What's up, Brady? Hope you have a great Christmas, my guy. You as well. Thank you for stopping in. Oh yeah, that fight was that fight was amazing. one of the best fights I've ever seen, and that was a Contender Series fight. I was doing a live fight companion I was going crazy. I lost my voice like the next week after calling that fight. All fights to end by finish. I kind of think Tercio Smotherman goes the distance just because Smotherman, although I don't think he's that durable, I mean, Tercios isn't really finishing anybody, and then Tercios is pretty durable. Come on. Yeah, that's where I got the strip club story, all from Ricky Tercios, where he was like, come on. It's like, what are you doing? I hate when fighters do that. They're like, come on. No, you come on, Ricky. You come on. Do something. Why are you shadow boxing 15 feet away? When is the Stat Diggers Award show? And are you going to dress up from the waist up? That's hilarious. Maybe I will. Tuxedo or a shirt. Maybe I will. Maybe I will have to dress up from the waist up, of course. I might do something like that. The award show is going to be Monday, the 29th, December 29th, Monday, the end of the year award show. Me, hopefully Uncle Weezy. So in 2 weeks, I'm looking for. I got to get all the graphics done. I got to go get the correct attire. Maybe bring in a guest. Maybe bring in a guest or two. You never know. But I'm really looking forward to the award show. I've always wanted to do one. Hey, we'll get there, man. We can't just skip around, man. We gotta go up. We'll get there. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. I think he attempted like almost 300 strikes. Let's see. Ricky Tercios against Ayman Zahabi. He attempted, I kid you not, 235 strikes. He landed 27. He attempted 235 strikes and he landed 27. I mean, you could go into the fight blindfolded and probably get 11% striking accuracy. I mean, you have to try to get an 11% accuracy. I mean, that was one of the worst performances of all time. He's going to try to chin him, and when that doesn't work, he's going to shoot. Yeah, I think Ricky Tercios is going to try to wrestle, but I mean, if Ricky Simone's not having success against Smotherman on the mat, I don't know if Tercios will. Unhealthy amount on Charles versus Max. Well, who do you like? You like Charles? That's going to be an incredible fight. 100 Gambler. Crusty, Dusty Chin of the Year. I did do a category with something along the lines of this, and I think Dariush is in it. I know Hermansson's on it. Let's see. Benil wasn't on it, but I put Benil on it. I have something along the lines of Crusty, Dusty Chin of the Year. Where does Damian Penis fit? No, I'm looking forward to Penis, man. Really looking forward to Penis. Did they announce a Penis fight yet? I think they did. I think they recently announced a Penis fight. I'm a really big fan of Penis. I think this guy's gonna be good, man. Yeah, we could see a split. No, the Vologden fight did not suck. I mean, how could you think such a thing? Liang, no, I couldn't think of anything. You know what I did? I did do Wiki feet of the year, but I think I deleted it. I think I did. I had a Wiki feet of the year, but I deleted it. I guess it's not going to make the cut. It's just kind of weird, to be honest. A little bit too weird. Charles wins easy via sub. Charles wins easily by sub. I can't wait for that fight. Two of my favorite fighters going at it. All right. So Michael Johnson versus Alexander Hernandez. So how old is Mike? Is Michael Johnson? He's 40, right? Let's take a peek. 39. He is turning 40 next June. So he's 39 and a half years old. He is coming off of a big upset against Daniel Zellhuber. Zellhuber was like minus 800. And but that was a weird fight, that Zellhuber fight. And by the way, I hate these ads, man. Like, who gives a shit about Mattress Firm? I don't give a damn if you make sleep easy. I hate these ads on Tapology. They're taking up the screen. Like, who cares about Simply Orange? Like, who's out there drinking orange juice? Not me. I'm not drinking orange juice. That's not my thing. But like I was saying, that Zellhuber fight was just a bad performance. I mean, it was horrible. Zellhuber refused to land any. I wonder if Zellhuber was hurt. He was either hurt or he threw the fight. Because what are you doing, Daniel Zellhuber? He threw literally 0 punches. It was all kicks. It was literally all kicks from Daniel Zellhuber. It's like, what are you doing, Daniel? What are you doing, Daniel Zellhuber? But so yeah, Hernandez, say what you want about the guy. I mean, say what you want about Alexander Hernandez, but holy crap. 4-1 in his last 5 fights, and that Jackson fight was close. Win against Austin Hubbard, win against Kurt Holloway, win against Chase Hooper, win against Diego Ferreira. His last 2 wins were incredible. Destroyed poor Diego Ferreira and destroyed Chase Hooper with like no time left at the end of the first round. Hernandez is I think Hernandez is finally starting to figure it out. It took him, what? Took him 5 years, 6 years. But I think Hernandez is finally starting to figure it out. And Michael Johnson's a guy that he's not going to grapple. He's not going to set a hellacious pace. I kind of think it's a good matchup for Hernandez here. Hernandez is going to be a lot younger. I think by like 6, maybe 7 years. I think Hernandez is like 33. He looks a lot younger than I think he's like 33. But yeah, I don't want to say the Michael Johnson Zellhuber fight was a fluke, but I mean, holy crap, what were you doing as Daniel Zellhuber? It just made no sense. Hernandez and Tercios for my picks. Yeah, I'm definitely going Hernandez. I think because I don't think Johnson's gonna make him push a hellacious pace, and I think that's how you beat Hernandez, like Billy Quarantillo, even like Damon Jackson, push a hellacious pace, and that's just not Michael Johnson's game. The Johnson, don't fall into the Johnson verse. I mean, Zellhuber fell right into the Johnson verse. Yeah, it's always tough laying chalk on this guy just because of the cardio. But yeah, it really should be a fight he wins. Am I the only one getting dick pill ads? I haven't seen any, but I'm sure I've gotten them in the past. But who knows what kind of ads will pop up? You never know. That Zellhuber, yeah, it was just stupid, man. It's like, what do you? I hope he was hurt or something. Because if not, I'm really worried about Daniel Zellhuber. Because it was crazy. Because I went back and watched the Esteban Ribovics fight versus Zellhuber, and Zellhuber was letting his hands go. Zellhuber landed a lot of strikes to the head and of Ribovics. I mean, and then against Johnson, I kid you not, like he threw no punches, just all kicks, and they were all mostly missing. Or Johnson was able to get the guard up and block him. It was just crazy. I could see it. I mean, Michael Johnson's been knocked out plenty of times. Hey Brady, do you enjoy drinking Happy Dads? I do. I haven't had a Happy Dad in a very long time, but maybe I'll get Happy Dads for the New Year's Eve party. Maybe I'll do that. I don't drink often at all. I drink maybe a couple times a year. I try not to, but when I do drink, it's like mostly seltzers these days. I've retired from the vodka and the Fireball and the Patron. Oh God, the Mad Dog. I've retired. I've since retired from all that. Don't mind some beer as well. But yeah, I like Happy Dads. I think they're actually pretty good. Hernandez KO. Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. Lightweight fight. I like it. All right. This is a good fight. I mean, it's crazy that this is a freaking prelim, to be honest. I mean, Rose Namajunas versus Natalia Silva is a this far down on the card. That's how you know that it's absolutely stacked. Natalia Silva and Rose. And it's funny, I saw that they released the odds for this fight, and they opened up Silva at -150. I'm like, oh, dang. I like that a lot. I like Silva at -150. And when you see those lines, though, you just know that they're not going to be there in like a couple minutes, and that's exactly what happened. Silva opened up -150, and she went to -270, which makes sense. I don't want to completely count out Rose, but I think Silva's the real deal. Elite takedown defense, elite striker, one of the best in the division. Yeah, I like Silva, but yeah, that -150 would have been crazy. And it was there actually for like an hour and 40 minutes. So a couple people probably got in on that Natalia Silva -150. Going to be holding a nice Natalia Silva -150 ticket. I'm not placing any bets until January 1st is my goal. I'm not going to place a single bet until January 1st. But yeah, -150 would have been nice. Would have been very nice. -270. I mean, this fight probably goes the distance. It probably goes into the hands of the crooked, corrupt judges. -275. I don't know. Haha, all right. They're pretty good. Just don't try the iced tea. They're awful. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard that they're getting out the iced tea. Looks like they did. I haven't tried them yet. But there are so many options nowadays for seltzers. What I do like is they have a couple of these. They have like these non-carbonated seltzers. I like those quite a bit. But yeah, Happy Dad iced teas, they're awful. That's a shame because I like iced tea and I like Happy Dad. So I think that'd be a good combo. But becoming an alcoholic is my New Year's resolution. Don't do that. It's not good. It's not good being an alcoholic. It's just try not to. Brady, remember the Michael Johnson versus Justin Gaethje fight? Yeah, man. I mean, anytime Justin Gaethje is, I can't think of a bad Justin Gaethje fight. I can't think of a bad Justin Gaethje fight. Rose versus Silva would be an Apex headliner. Yeah, 1,000% it would. 1,000% it would. And it's this far down on the prelim. As of now, I mean, they could move the bout order around, but the day Rose retires will be the best day of my UFC life. She constantly puts me to sleep with their point performance. I mean, I don't love, like, a lot of people love Rose. I don't love Rose, but I don't hate Rose. It's like she's kind of in the middle for me. She's fine, Silva decision, yeah. They froze the market quickly and reposed. Okay, that makes sense. What's Michael Johnson's wiki feet score? I'll tell you, Moise. I got you. So you have to go to the wiki feet men, which I'm not typically on. I try to stay away from there. But they have a wiki feet and then a wiki feet men. Which, like I said, I'm not on the men side of things. They don't have Michael Johnson on there, unfortunately. You would think they would. Silva for sure. Yeah, I like Silva. Obviously, gotta look more into it, but I'm a really big and really high on Silva. Feels like a retirement for Rose when she gets smoked 30-27. I could see something like a masterclass 30-27. I could see it. I had to take Patty and O'Malley early. Makes sense. Rose versus Silva might be the featured prelim because winner gets the next title shot. Silva should win, but then again, Rose upset Zhang and other elites. Yeah, like I said, you can't count out Rose, but yeah, I could see that as the feature prelim potentially. Really good fight. Oh, God. What are we doing? What is this? Josh Hokett versus Denzel Freeman, a.k.a. William Knight. Denzel Freeman took years off I'll never forget that fight. Woke up at like 7 a.m. that day, and then the fights kicked off at 10. And I was excited. I was excited to watch the fights, man. And then I had to sit through 15 minutes of Denzel Freeman just doing absolutely nothing. And then in the second round, to add insult to injury, he started like taunting his opponent, being like, "Oh, like shut up, Denzel. Shut your mouth, Denzel Freeman. How about you go out there and do something? Why are you making these weird noises? You have no right to make these weird noises. You're not doing anything, Denzel Freeman." It was truly, truly one of the worst performances I've ever seen in my entire life. It was so bad that his opponent got cut. What was it? What was it? What was that bum's name? That bum that he fought got cut. Got cut, and I think they should have cut Freeman as well. I think they should have cut both of them. I really think that. So there is no way in hell I'm picking Denzel Freeman. And plus, I think it's a bad matchup for him. Denzel Freeman, what is his best attribute? I don't know actually. I mean, he's good. He's a good wrestler, right? He didn't show it in his debut, but he's a pretty good wrestler. You know, he submitted Steven Aspinall, and Hokett's the better wrestler. Hokett's the better striker. Hokett's more dangerous. Hokett's nasty on top. So I kind of like this new wave of heavyweights. Just a couple of them. You know, there's a new wave coming in. 90% of them stink, but a couple of them I'm looking like Josh Hokett, Steven Aspinall. You know, this new wave is very exciting, and Josh Hokett talking about making the heavyweight division great again, and I would tend to agree. And I think he said that, I don't know if he said it was Mick Maynard or Sean Shelby named him the garbage man because he's taking out the garbage. He's taking out the garbage against all these garbage heavyweights, and I think that's what they might be doing here. Get this garbage out of here. Get Denzel Freeman out of here. So, yeah, I mean, if the odds are right, I'll probably be looking at backing Josh. I just think it's a bad matchup for Freeman. So, yeah, I think Hokett gets it done. Either you love him or you hate him. He's pretty dang good, Hokett. He has a skill set that's going to instantly make him a top 15 heavyweight. He can wrestle. And that's it. He can wrestle. He can do one thing really. He can wrestle, and his striking is not bad. We saw that in his last fight, but his wrestling's good. His ground game's really good. The ground and pound, sneaky submission game. I like Josh Hokett as a fighter. Little cringy for sure, but you know that's his whole gimmick. Let's go, Hokett. We got the only Godfather. What's up? Good to see you in here. Hokett first round KO. I hope so. I hope it's brutal. I hope it's very brutal and devastating. Brady, I respect that you don't buy into the hype and don't drink much. I'm celebrating 21 years sober from alcohol and cocaine and all hard drugs in June. Congratulations, Daniel. 21 years is crazy. Mad respect. Mad respect. It's very tough to quit. So, yeah, mad respect to you. If Denzel got a finish, I would have turned $10 into $5,000. Luckily, I replaced the rest after the first leg sold. Good. But, yeah, I mean, he definitely sold, man. I mean, he had a bum in front of him and did what he did. Just terrible. Yeah, was it Marique Bujla? Just horrible. Got cut. One and done. You know you're bad when you're just one and done. Aspinall versus Hokett would be one of those fights where it's a great fight, don't get me wrong, but I kind of just want to see both of them, you know, build their way up and then maybe in the future fight. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of prospect versus prospect matchups because it just sucks when one of them have to lose, you know. Y'all think Hokett stays a heavyweight? I think he will. To be honest, just because the heavyweight division's so bad that you can go out there and you can be a top you can show up and you're a top 10 heavyweight. I mean, Tai Tuivasa hasn't won a fight in like 6. I think Tai Tuivasa is 0-6 in his last 6 fights. And Tai Tuivasa is like a top 15 heavyweight. I think he's like a top 10 heavyweight, Tai Tuivasa. So that's why I think Hokett will probably stay at heavyweight is, I mean, just show up and you're top 15. Just show up and you're a top 15 fighter. It's crazy. Take the Freeman fight over, maybe. I mean, it all depends who sets the pace. Like I mean, Freeman's probably gonna not try to fight, but Hokett is gonna bring it to him. Hokett's not boring like Denzel Freeman. I'm still recovering from that Denzel Freeman's staring match. Hokett wins by activity in the cage. Period. Horrible matchup for Denzel. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. When's that? I think that fight is 325, right? Yeah. Tai Tuivasa, Taliesin Teixeira. I think it's a winnable fight for Tai. Finally, I kind of think it is, but at the same time, it's heavyweight and somebody's gonna get knocked out in the first round. All right. What else we got on this card? Alex Perez, Charles Johnson. Don't really care for this fight too much. Probably a competitive fight, as long as Alex Perez isn't getting submitted and Charles Johnson really isn't a submission threat. Like, Alex Perez looked incredible against Aso Mabayev up until he got caught in that sub. I don't know. Charles Johnson is a guy that's always kind of hard to trust, but kind of starts slow, kind of gets going as the fight goes on. I think it's going to be a fun, competitive fight. I wonder where they're going to line that Perez-Johnson fight at. Share it. Yeah, bring back Martin Badai. I agree. Bring him back. Yeah, let's get Gable Stevenson in here. Agreed. I don't know about that. I don't know about Jake Paul. Teixeira has no defense. Easiest bet of my life on Derek Lewis to take him out, but Ty is washed. Yeah, Ty might be washed, but Ty is looking in good shape. I don't know if it was a fake picture, but Ty does look to be getting in pretty good shape. All right, Teba Gaudier versus Andre Pulayev. What are they doing? What are they doing? I mean, it's a sanctioned murder. I mean, no other way around it. I mean, somebody needs arrested for this matchmaking. I mean, what are they trying to accomplish here? I mean, this is borderline sickening what they're doing to poor Andre Pulayev. I mean, Gaudier is going to destroy him. I mean, Gaudier is going to be minus 1,000 here. So, yeah, Gaudier should win. He should win pretty convincingly. And man, Gaudier, I'm a big fan of the guy. He's a terrifying individual, but I mean, look at this run. Tristan Vines, Robert Valentin, Jose Medina, Uranato. I mean, this is some of the worst competition you'll ever see. And now he's getting Andre Pulayev, who's not great either. So, yeah, I think we see Gaudier get just a devastating finish here. Yeah, R.I.P. Pulayev. Yep, I'll probably have to bring back the arms. Yeah, I'll have to bring that back on fight week. Just terrible matchmaking. Yeah, Brady, thank you for doing these live streams during the big hiatus. Love your video format, and your humor has grown on me. Thank you. You're welcome, man. Like I said, I don't want to take a 6-week break. That's too much. It's just too much. Doesn't matter. Ateba is the truth future champion. He could be, man. I mean, this guy, he's still super young, isn't he? I think he's like 24, right? 23. He's 23 years old. He could knock out a house. Yeah, maybe he could be a future champion. Maybe. Yeah, we're gonna get some stupid lines on the props. Yeah, it's just brutal, man. Just brutal. All right, Davison Figueiredo versus Umar Magomedov, and I think we have odds for all these fights now. Besides this fight, we don't have odds for the Umar fight. Well, I do think Umar is going to be the favorite just because he got the Nurmagomedov tax, and yeah, I like Umar. I think he could be a potential champion. I think I think he could be a potential champion. You know, I think Merab might be slowing down a little bit. Like, Merab's 35, 36 years old. I think Umar will be champion one day. And he's going against Davison Figueiredo, who jumped up to bantamweight and has had a lot of success since. Let's see what Davison's been doing. I think he's undefeated at bantamweight, right? Oh, I'm fried. He's not undefeated. I forgot he lost to Sanhagen and he lost to Jan. But yeah, he beat Jackson, he beat Vera, he beat Garbrandt, and he beat Rob Font. So 4-2. So not bad. But yeah, he looked pretty bad against Sanhagen, to be honest. He looked really bad against Sanhagen. I mean, that really shouldn't be happening. So yeah, Umar probably wins, but he's probably gonna be like minus 300 or worse. So probably not a fight I'm gonna touch. Yeah, probably no props sticking out. Yeah, maybe. I was thinking like minus 300 to minus 500 probably. I could see that. Brady, thoughts on Ilia Topuria stepping away from the sport to focus on a lawsuit with his ex gold digging of an ex-wife. I guess it's just a shame. It's a shame that he has to deal with that. And it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck not having Topuria around for a little bit, right? I mean, Topuria, he's must-watch type fighter. But yeah, he was dealing with some outside of the cage type stuff. It is what it is. Umar by unanimous decision. The safe play here. Figgy's on his way down, and Umar's on his way up. Umar decision. You probably get it like minus 150, minus 200 maybe. If Umar can't get takedowns, this is going to look like Pantoja Figgy. I think he should be able to get takedowns, though, right? If Moreno can sub Figgy, imagine what Umar could do. It's a good point. Good point. Probably wider than minus 500, maybe. Maybe. There's no way that Figgy defends the takedowns. Yeah, I don't think he will. Is he that? I thought he was like 36. Is he going to be 38 for real? Yeah. December 8th. He's going to be 38 years old in 2 days. Holy crap. That's wild. 38-year-old Figgy. That's crazy. Yeah. Wild, huh? 38 years old. Time flies, man. All right. How many fights are on this card? Holy crap. 13. Krylov, Bukauskas. This is a stupid fight. Like, Krylov is so washed. Krylov is done. So although I hate Bukauskas, I always look to fade Bukauskas. It's like it's probably an easy win for Bukowski. I mean, Krylov's just done. His chin's gone. He looks awful. He looks terrible in there, Krylov. So Bukowskis probably gets it done and maybe even gets a knockout here. Bukowskis has been looking more violent lately. He's actually getting finishes nowadays. Yeah, maybe a Bukowskis knockout probably could be interesting here. But yeah, Krylov just looked awful to me. He had that big hiatus. He came back against Dominic Reyes. He looked washed. He showed back up against Bogdan Gustov. He looked washed. And probably going to look washed here. He's only 33 years old, but he has like 41 fights. He's been dealing with some injuries. He just looks done to me. It is a mess because I don't like either one of these guys. I don't want to put money on either one of these guys, but especially not Krylov. Especially not Krylov with how he's been looking. He's just been looking awful. Yeah, I was there live and I was like, holy crap, Krylov, you good? You good, man? Are you good, dude? He looked awful. And then he looked awful against Guskov. And it's like his best attribute was his toughness. His best attribute was the wrestling. And he hasn't even tried to wrestle his last 2 fights. Maybe it is a draw. Maybe it is a draw. Krylov is done. I think he's all the way done. And then after getting knocked out back-to-back times, I think he's done. I wish they would have given like somebody else other than Bukauskas so I could just like fade the crap out of him. But I also don't want to lay chalk on Modestas Bukauskas really. So yeah, definitely a weird fight. All right, Gene Silva, Arnold Alice, the fun fight. I think these two are going to throw down. I think these two are gonna throw it. I don't think anybody's going to grapple here. I think these two are going to swing and stand and bang. And we do have odds for the rest of the fights. They got Silva opened at minus 150. He's currently minus 220. Arnold Allen opened at plus 130, currently plus 185. Arnold Allen's one of these just very technical fighters. A really good, really well-rounded fighter. You know, I've never been in love with the cardio, the chin, really the volume, but he's a great fighter. 20 wins, 3 losses. I just think it's going to be a dick swinging contest, to be honest. I think it's probably going to come down to who has the bigger dick. And in my opinion, it's probably Silva. But yeah, Allen's a skilled dude. I think violence could be interesting here. I think it's going to be a violent fight. I think anytime Silva fights, it's going to be a violent fight. And we might even get some good odds on like an under here potentially. So yeah, kind of lean Silva here, but got to look more into it. Silva KO, F it. Yeah, I kind of like that fight ends by KO. I think they're going to swing. Yeah, I think there's a reason that they have it as the main card opener right now. It is a banger. I think it's really good matchmaking. Let's go, Almighty Allen. Yeah, man, he's a good. I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, but I will say he's a very good fighter. He's a very skilled, talented fighter. Yeah, and that's the thing. I think there's a big discrepancy in the power here. Allen actually has some power, but I mean, it's not comparable. I mean, Silva has the death touch. Like I said, some of the shots that Silva was landing on Diego Lopez, I'm not sure how Diego ate those shots. Like, it literally makes no sense. Like, some of those shots he was landing against Diego knock out 95% of the division. It was ridiculous. Gene Silva just hits different. He was beating Lopez before he got caught. Well, not in the first round, but I know what you mean. Like, in the second, he was starting to kind of pour it on, and then he did get caught. Yeah. Allen's never been knocked out, right? Off the top of my head, no. I know he lost to Holloway. Who else did he lose to? Yeah, all losses came by decision. He lost to Holloway and Evloev. Never been knocked out. But yeah, Evloev's not knocking anybody out. You know, Holloway's not some murderous power puncher. So, yeah, could be a first here. And I think somebody probably does get knocked out. Yes. Gotta love those dick swinging competitions, man. Who we kidding here? Silva first round KO. I can dig it. For some reason, I think Silva decision could be the play. Allen's very durable. He is very durable. We have seen him hurt a couple times, but he's never been knocked out. So 55%. Yeah, he's not priced like it. He's like minus, what is he, minus 220? Minus 220 now. I don't think anybody eats those shots. It was crazy. I was like, how is Diego Lopez still standing? How is he still standing? I was so confident on Vallejos inside the distance. That shit saved me on Saturday. Nice. There you go. And he did it in very devastating fashion, too. That was nice. All right. Waldo Cortez Acosta, Derek Lewis. We touched on this a little bit. I mean, it's a Derek Lewis fight. You know, it's hard to back a guy like Derek Lewis. He doesn't have the best volume. He doesn't have the best cardio. He doesn't have the best durability. He doesn't have the best heart. He doesn't have the best takedown defense. He doesn't have the best ground game. He doesn't have the best fight IQ. He doesn't have the best jiu-jitsu. He doesn't have the best, combinations. He doesn't have the best anything, but he does have one thing. And the one thing he does have is power. He has a lot of power, and that power has gotten him 29 wins. So, yeah, it's always tough counting out Derek Lewis because, I think really anybody he fights for the most part is going to be more skilled than him. But and the same thing with Waldo. Like, Waldo, I think, is a lot more skilled than Derek Lewis. Waldo has the much better cardio. I think he's much more durable. If somebody were to have an advantage in the grappling, it's probably Waldo. So, yeah, Waldo should be a pretty big favorite, but Lewis has that death touch type thing. But, yeah, Costa's durable, man. Costa was eating flush shots from Sergey Pavlovich and smiling at him. And I think Pavlovich hits, just as hard probably as Derek Lewis. So, yeah. Should be a Costa win, probably by knockout. Minus 275. They're all over it. Minus 275. It's always tough laying this much chalk against Lewis because he'll surprise you. He'll definitely surprise you here and there. Maybe a total could be interesting on this one, but yeah, I think Acosta gets done. I think it's actually a really good matchup for Acosta, just because he's a lot more durable than Derek Lewis. And no. Yeah, I think Costa should get it done. Dominican power bit, yeah, he's showing some power. Waldo over 1.5. Oh, I don't know. He is typically an over guy, but his last two fights have ended under. So maybe you might get a good price on that over. Waldo rarely swings dicks, but I don't think he's going to give Lewis many chances to land. Yeah, it would be smart not to. Sauce is going to be so much faster, but I also don't like how every single fight he's been pushed against the cage by terrible footwork, so Lewis could catch him. Yeah, I mean, it's heavyweight, right? Lewis could catch him. So the funny thing is, like, Lewis plus 200, they're probably going to make his KO, like, plus 220, right? But man, yeah, if you can never go wrong betting a Derek Lewis knockout prop. Costa coming out party. It'd be a great win. It'd be a very good win. Derek Lewis is the definition of a brawler. Where's Waldo by decision or third round KO? Yeah, I think Waldo probably catches him at some point if he puts it on him. Lewis round one, or he has no chance. I thought Shamil was about to chin him in his last fight. Yeah, Shamil got chinned pretty bad, man. All right, Sean O'Malley, Song Yadong. Yeah, I'm happy that Sean O'Malley's getting a winnable fight. He's not having to go against Merab. He's not having to go against like an Umar Nurmagomedov. He's getting a pretty winnable fight here in a fight where Song Yadong probably not going to wrestle him. Maybe he tries. If he does, probably not going to have much success. It's going to be a striker versus striker matchup, and just simply, O'Malley should be the better striker here. It's hard to pick really anybody in the bantamweight division outstriking O'Malley over the course of 15 minutes. So, yeah, I think O'Malley should win. He's the favorite, minus 215. Dang, he opened at minus 300, O'Malley. Yeah, minus 215. Should be a fight where he gets back in the win column, and would definitely like to see him get back in the win column there. Fight goes to decision. I kind of lean that way as well. Song Yadong's very durable. Sugar Show chinning him. That'd be crazy, man. Has Song been knocked out before? Let's take a look. I think he probably has like earlier in his career, but 2 times. I would like to see when they were, but getting ads. Oh, the Sandhagen cut stoppage. So I guess that's one. Not really a knockout. And then the other one was back in 2016. So yeah, he's been knocked out before. O'Malley decision. Could be like a potential masterclass over 15. That's a fun fight too. Oh, I got you. I'm talking about how Shamil had Waldo backed against the cage for a second. It was a bad visual. Yeah. Is there a worry Sean doesn't have the same hunger after his last few fights? Yeah, that's definitely a worry. But hopefully he's motivated to get back in there and get a win. O'Malley said at the UFC 226 first quarter press conference that he wants to become the UFC third round champ. He literally knows he's not beating Jan again or Merab. And I would tend to agree. I don't think he's beating Merab, and I don't think he's beating Jan. And quite frankly, I actually scored the fight for Jan in their first fight. And especially over 25 minutes, you had to favor Jan there. So yeah, that's why I like this matchup for him. He's not got to worry about takedowns at all. It should be a pretty good matchup for Sean O'Malley. Oh, Meffley, awesome. Oh, Meffley. MMA Jesus has Song. That'll definitely be unpopular pick. Let's see what the Tapology voters are saying on this one. 86% have O'Malley thus far. 27% by knockout. 72% by decision. That's a lot of votes. They already have 1,000 votes on Tapology. People are on it. He beat Jan. It was a close fight. I scored it for Jan, but it was a very close fight. My friend works around Sean's gym and says he's not losing. I don't think he should lose this matchup. Alrighty. Co-main event. Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. Really awesome fight. But I don't know. How long has Nunes been off now? Holy crap. Nunes is 37. 2.5 years. I don't know. 37.5 years old. 2.5 year layoff against Kayla Harrison, who's in the prime of her career. I don't know. I'll never forget that Pena loss. Yeah, I mean, in Nunes' prime, it'd be a pretty easy click on the Nunes side. What is Nunes? I know Nunes is a dog, plus 140. Some money's coming in on her, plus 170. I don't know. Nunes in her prime, I'd be all over that. I'd be all over plus 40. It's just She's 37. She hasn't fought in 2.5 years. It's kind of hard to know what to expect out of Nunez is the problem. And I just can't get the image of Juliana Pena submitting Amanda Nunez. No hooks in. I don't think the choke was even in. And that was like almost 4 years ago at this point. So I don't know. I got to look into this one more, and Nunez is one of my favorite fighters, but I don't like the circumstances surrounding her really in this matchup. I heard Kayla Harrison ran Amanda out of her old gym. Isn't Kayla at American Top Team? I got to go Kayla. Nunez's retirement is a big impact for me. If this was 3 years ago, Amanda, yeah, and it typically doesn't work out when fighters retire and come back. I mean, look at Henry Cejudo, retired, and he went like 0-4, right? 0-3. So yeah, hard to come back after retiring and having success. You got the strange comeback for Nunez. I think she probably should have stayed retired. I mean, we'll see. Maybe she goes out there and does beat Kayla Harrison. Stuffs the takedowns, keeps it on the feet, and of course on the feet, the better striker is Nunez by a mile. Very interesting in matchup here, Nunez Harrison. I'm really looking forward to digging into this one. I'll probably do a deep dive prediction video into this one, maybe this week or next week, because I'm very interested in this one. Amanda Nunez is still profiting from that Pena loss. WTF was that performance? I don't know, man. Other than that or a long layoff, it should be a great fight. Yeah, I mean, I remember that felt like a fever dream. I thought there was no way in hell. There's no way in hell Amanda Nunez loses to Juliana Pena. And she did, and she looked awful. I mean, it was just bizarre. One of the biggest upsets of all time. I couldn't believe my eyes. This is not going the distance. I would tend to agree with that. Nunez has the power to knock out anybody in the division, and then Kayla Harrison's pretty nasty on top with the ground and pound, the submission game. I think the book's probably going to be onto it, though. I think the fight as it goes probably going to be pretty horribly priced, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Was it an Isaac Bulgarian situation? Maybe. Pena throwing day one boxing gym jabs and landing 200 against Nunez was so great. It was just wild. I couldn't believe it. Nunez, the original Derek Minner, just didn't get caught. Maybe. You guys keep talking about the one loss to Pena, but what happened in the rematch? Yeah, she did exactly what she should have done in the first fight. 50-43 her. Yeah, but there's off nights, and then there was that. Getting tapped out, no hooks in, the choke wasn't in. Just a bad look. Gassed out in 5 minutes. I don't know what happened. But yeah, it was certainly an off night, to say the least. And then Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett, freaking phenomenal fight. I love this fight. Big fan of both fighters. Striker versus grappler matchup. On the feet, Gaethje has certainly has a puncher's chance, right? Like Gaethje could potentially, maybe knock out Paddy. It's gonna be tough to do. You can't knock out a Scouser, but Gaethje, if anybody's gonna do it, it could be Gaethje. But on the mat, I mean, on the mat, it's night and day. Gaethje's a white belt. If Paddy Pimblett gets his fight down to the ground, the fight's over very shortly after. So yeah, I'll probably be looking at some sort of violence in this one. But yeah, Paddy gets it. Just one takedown could be it. One takedown, the fight could be over. But it's going to be just chaos from the start. Absolute chaos from the jump. And as it should be. So probably gonna lean Pimblett here, just because he has just an astronomical advantage on the ground. But when this fight is standing, because all fights start on the feet, Gaethje will certainly have some opportunities, because Pimblett is very hittable. Pimblett did get hurt against Luigi Vandermeini, so you never know. But I'm kind of happy that Topuria is vacating and going away for a little bit, just because I think it'd be really cool to see either one of these guys be champion. I think it'd be cool as heck to see Pimblett be a champion. Same thing with Gaethje. Like Gaethje, I think he's 0-2 in title fights. Finally going out there and getting that interim lightweight championship. I think that'd be pretty cool as well. I'd be happy with either one of these guys winning. That's why I kind of want to take a look at an under or some of these props. But Paddy Pimblett is the favorite, and yeah, rightfully so. Minus 200 makes sense to me. I mean, maybe it could even be a little bit wider just because of how big of a ground advantage he has. But on the feet, like if you lay minus 200 on Paddy on the feet, you're going to be sweating a little bit because he does eat punches with his face. Paddy's a parlay piece, good way to hedge out too. Not going to bet the main event. Just want to enjoy this one sick fight. Hey, nothing wrong with that. It's a sick fight. I think it's a hell of a way to kick off 2026. I mean, I really could not wait for this fight at all. Has Paddy ever been like actually rocked? Like he wobbled or took his against Luigi Vandermeini, he got rocked. That's about it. Paddy, oh, those leg kicks. Yep, nasty. Yep, the Vandermeini fight. Chin up in the air. Yep, chin up in the air. Yes and no. Yes, because he's going to go for takedowns, but no, because unlike Ola Zaechuk, Paddy's going to destroy Gaethje if he gets on top. Yeah, that was wild. That was a wild fight. That Vandermeini fight. That made me a fan of Paddy Pimblett instantly. Might be an undisputed title fight with Ilya's shit. Sound like he's not fighting anytime soon. Yeah, it's a shame, man. It's a shame. Brother Brady, what do you rate this Paramount Plus card? I give it a 8.5 to 9 out of 10. That being said, what do we get for 56 likes? Nothing, man. We got to get 100. If we get 100, I said, like, if we get 100 likes, I'll sing some Celine Dion. But we're a ways away. We're a ways away. Got Paddy. Paddy should roll, in my opinion. People underestimate his stand-up with his leg. And yeah, I mean, Paddy could hurt Gaethje too, but it's just like, maybe don't stand with Gaethje too much, because on the ground it's over. Like on the mat, it's over. Yeah, I don't completely hate Paddy's striking either, but it's his ground game that I think is going to win him this fight pretty convincingly. And that's true. Yep, people can improve, and he absolutely has improved. Is this title run for Paddy the most handpicked of all time? It's up there. It's certainly up there. But I don't blame the UFC. I mean, the UFC is in dire need of some more stars, and who else but Paddy Pimblett, you know? So I don't blame the UFC. Paddy by sub, Gaethje doesn't get controlled for long because he gets immediately exactly. I think it might be like a round one type situation here between these two. Maybe round two. Paddy going to go for the KO, but going to get the sub and get it. Maybe a club and sub, but yeah, maybe take him down, sub him. Oh, yeah, Ilya versus Paddy would be phenomenal. And yeah, Ilya versus Paddy would be a phenomenal fight. I would love that fight. Would absolutely love that fight. All right, we can roll through 325. I'll cover it more in the next couple of weeks. We'll kind of roll through these. Might skip a couple. Like I'm not talking about the road to UFC fights, but what's pretty cool is we have back-to-back numbered fights here. So 324 is going to be January 24th, right? And then 325 is going to be January 31st. So back-to-back, just banger cards. And by the way, Forrest, if I had to rate this card 1 out of 10, man, it's probably. I think I'd agree. Maybe like an 8.5 out of 10. I think that'd be fair. Not quite a 9. Not quite a 9.5. I think it's missing one, like maybe one more incredible fight to be a 10, but I'd say like 8.5. It's a really good card. There we go. There, I don't know how good my singing will be tonight, but I will try if we get 100 likes. We're running out of time though. I got about 30 more minutes in me. What's your early lean for the Volk Lopez rematch? We're about to touch on that right now. So yeah, are they seriously doing this? Road to UFC, they're not seriously doing this to us, right? 4 road to UFC fights. Good thing we have the 6-week break, because it's going to take me 6 weeks to research these fights. I hate researching road to UFC fights. It's worse than Contender Series. It's the worst thing ever. But I know Aaron Tao. I know him. I don't know Sulang Garangbo. I don't know Lawrence Louis. I don't know these guys. Like, who is Kalichiro Nakamura? Like, who are these guys, man? So I'm gonna have to dig deep into these road to UFC fights. And like I said, thank goodness I have 6 weeks to do it, because it's gonna take some time. Sung Uk Kim, he sounds familiar. Even Don Marfan does as well. I don't know. I just never been into road to UFC. I like looking at the highlights. The highlights are fun with people getting served, but I just never got into it. Junior Toffa, Billy Elikana. Banger of a fight, but I don't trust either one of them. It's actually a really low-level fight. But yeah, Elikana did have a really good performance in his last fight, but he also fought the worst fighter of all time in Kevin Christian. I mean, Kevin Christian's the worst. He's a worse signing than Jose Medina. Yes, I said it. Kevin Christian is a worse signing than Jose Medina, who lost. So I don't really take it. And Elikana beat Ibo Aslan. So Elikana's actually won a couple of UFC, which is crazy. So maybe Elikana's not as bad as I thought. So that could be an interesting fight. Yiza versus Khan Offley. Yes, I think Yiza could potentially get this. I'm not a big fan of Khan Offley. Khan Offley did, though, go out there and get an upset win against Ricardo Ramos. I think a first-round submission, which kind of surprised me. But, yeah, Yiza has a lot of power on the feet. He showed that off against poor Weston Wilson. And then he can also wrestle and grapple. That's another interesting fight. Why is Lopez getting a rematch? I don't know. Like, Lopez is another one of those guys who the UFC certainly wants to build up. Another guy with kind of that star potential, and I don't think Lopez showed his best in that the first Volk fight. Guy with the face tattoo, he was on Dana White's Contender Series, trains at Adesanya's gym. Aaron Tao, right? Yeah, Aaron Tao is I think is pretty decent. Billy Elikana, the baby goat. Oh god, Khan Offley is good if you let him cheat. Is he a cheater? Yeah, I think he is a cheater, huh? Let's see. What is Tapology saying with this one? I always like looking at these. 76% on Yiza by knockout. Okay. Let me guess. I think the Tapology predictors are gonna go for Junior Toffa here. Whoa! 93% for Billy Elikana on Tapology. I thought more people would like Toffa just because of the Toffa name. And yeah, that makes sense. 93%. That's wild. But yeah, Elikana is probably not as bad as we thought. And Elikana did do good against Guskov in the first round. And yeah, Toffa's just whatever. So that makes sense. To used to train with Mike Hucci. Shout out Mike Hucci. Toffa is the least skilled fighter on the roster. Yeah. Now that his brother got cut. Yes. Maybe they'll bring Justin back for this card. I don't know. Oh, wait. Jonathan Mikhailov versus Oban Elliott. Wasn't this fight supposed to happen like a couple weeks ago? Or am I tripping? Yeah, it was. Elliott got sick. Yeah, that was a fight on Fight Week where I had no clue what was going to happen. It was a straight pick'em. I don't know. I think I've always thought that Elliott was overrated, and Mikhailov looked really good in his last fight. That was a weird one. Dude. Quillen Salkhild versus Rong Zhu. That's phenomenal matchmaking. That's incredible matchmaking. Rong Zhu's looked good since coming back. He got cut. He went on the road to UFC and looked really good. Got a couple good finishes. And then he came into the UFC and looked very good. Very improved. And that's kind of what to be expected with Rong Zhu, because this guy's young, right? 25 years old. That's crazy to me. This guy is 25 years old with 33 fights. Rong Zhu. That's insane. And then Quillen Salkild coming off one of the best knockouts of the year, where I literally thought Nasrat Hackbrass died. I actually sent the video clip of the Hackbrass Salkild knockout into my group chat with my friends, and I was like, this guy just died. And they believed it. They were like, did he really? Did he really die? Yeah. Yeah, he did. Rest in peace, Nasrat Hackbrass. I mean, that was brutal. So, yeah, I mean, I think this has fight of the night written all over it. I think it's a pretty bad matchup for Rong Zhu, just pre-tape, just because Salkild's a guy that can attempt 50 takedowns in a fight, and Rong Zhu's kind of struggled with the grappling before. And I even thought a guy like Cody Steele, who's a black belt, might try to grapple. I think it'd be smart, and Cody Steele didn't try to do that at all. I think Quillen Salkild will grapple here, so I'm interested to see where they line this one, because I think Salkild has a really good path with the grappling. And it's crazy because Salkild hasn't had to use his grappling yet, because he knocked out Jubilee in 15 seconds, and then he knocked out Nasrat Hackbrass. He hasn't really had to use his grappling, I guess, in the Oshmos fight, right? But he's been knocking fools out. I don't know if he's going to knock out Rong Zhu, but I think he can take him down and stuff like that. You've got the Rong Zhu. Yeah, I might have it. I might have it. Brady, keep in mind that we're 6 to 7 weeks away from these cars. The Tapology predictions will be more accurate. That's true. Usually we'll get 4,000 picks on Tapology a week, something like that. Right now we have 623. So yeah, these will definitely change throughout the next couple weeks. But yeah, I always like looking at them. I always think it's interesting. Salkild, 95%. I think submission could be only 3% taking him by submission. I kind of think submission could be live against Rong Zhu. I mean, I remember when Rong Zhu got submitted by Ignacio Bahamondes. A lot of people think a knockout. Unfortunately, AFJ's punches heal you when he lands them. That makes sense. It makes sense. That's a banger. Agreed. Alan Fry Jr. could have been the GOAT if he had power. If he had power in his hands, if he had striking, if he had wrestling, if he had grappling, if he had fight IQ, if he had a lot of things. I think Alan Fry Jr. Yeah, I mean, wait, no, because Alan Fry Jr. he can clinch. That's something he's good at. Whereas Junior Tafa, what's he good at? He hits hard. Yeah, I guess Junior Tafa has a lot of power. So I don't. It's close. It's very close. I'm dying laughing listening to you talk about sending the Salkild KO and telling your friends he died. Yeah, I was like, he died, man. This guy died. They're like, really? I was like, yeah. Look at it. Did you not watch the clip I sent you? He's clearly dead. Oh gosh, that was brutal. It's definitely brutal. So yeah, I mean, Salkild, Rong Zhu, beautiful matchmaking. Well done, matchmakers. And then we get a little weird. This is weird. Jacob Malkoun versus Torres Finney. What a weird fight. Two guys that kind of want to hump your leg, right? It's going to come down to who's going to have more success humping the other guy's leg. I don't know. On the feet, Finney has some power, but he just has not shown any willingness to strike. I mean, this is probably going to be a humping match, right? I mean, this fight could suck, guys. I mean, this fight could be terrible. I don't really like this. I think they might just hump each other, take turns humping each other. Malkoun's going to hump Finney, and then Finney's going to get on top and hump Malkoun. And I mean, this could be awful. Just initial thought. I mean, maybe I'm way off. I mean, this fight could suck unless you're a fan of guys humping each other. I mean, I'm not a fan of that. I don't know. It's a kind of a stupid fight. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I mean, it's a weird one. I mean, maybe you can knock out Malkoun, but Finney just doesn't have any willingness to strike on the feet. I don't know. Fight goes to decision minus 10,000. Probably, I mean, probably unless Finney like catches Malkoun on the feet. But like I said, I think it's going to be primarily a grappling match. Minus 400. Oh, two guys that are 100% going to be cut when I don't know. Actually, Malkoun's a pretty dang good fighter, to be honest. Finney, I think Finney's good as well. It's just he's just not the most exciting. It doesn't have the most exciting style. I don't like this matchmaking. It's like they're kind of mirror images of each other in a way. Like they're both looking to do the exact same thing. Like who's going to get their game going? I don't know. 325 looks like it was supposed to be in Australia. It does, is it not? It is in Australia. Yeah, it is. It's in Australia. It's in Sydney, Australia. Right? 15 fights. Holy crap. Oh, that's including the Road UFC stuff. So really like 11 fights. Because we have 4 Road UFC fights. That sucks. That stinks. But yeah, I mean, I kind of don't like this fight. You agree? Yeah. What is that supposed to mean? Matchmakers are definitely hoping these two's grapplings cancel each other out and they have a stand and bang like men. I mean, if they have a stand and bang like men, and Malkoun probably gets knocked out, but I just don't know if that's going to happen, unfortunately. Finney losing and calling out Hamzat, or Finney winning and calling out Hamzat, I don't know. It might be the very first humping of the week. Yeah, definitely. So 324s in Vegas, and then this will be in Australia. And then I know they have an Apex card, I believe, after this. That looks pretty good. Finney to sniff Crocs. minus a million, yeah. Yeah, weird fight. I literally don't know. I'll have to look more into it, but I could care less. Cam Ralston versus Cody Brundage. What stupid thing is going to happen in this fight? Every time Cody Brundage fights, something stupid happens. I kid you not. I mean, look at all of his fights. Anytime he's in the cage, something stupid happens. Like, how do you lose to Eric McConaughey? Well, he actually beat Eric McConaughey, but the judges gave it to McConaughey. How does that happen? The draw / no whatever it was against Mansour Malik, where they both decided not to fight for 10 minutes. What the heck happened there? The no contest against Abdulrazak Al Hassan. The slam versus Zach Reese. The Jacob Malkoun DQ. The Dumas fight where Brundage landed 3 strikes across 15 minutes. Anytime Brundage fights, like something just weird happens. The Dolce fight was weird, where he's getting just destroyed and they got that guillotine. What stupid thing's going to happen in this fight against Cam Ralston? So Ralston's very interesting. So this guy is at City Kickboxing, but he's actually like a very good grappler. Like it's like he's a kickboxer, but his grappling is like his best attribute. He has a ton of submissions. Like let's take a look. Like I think he's won like over half his wins by sub. 54% of his wins come by submissions. He's actually a really good grappler. He can be taken down, and that's kind of where Brundage might be able to have some success here. But Ralston's pretty good off his back. And on the feet, Ralston he looked a lot better his last 2 fights on the feet. He got that nice knockout on the Contender Series. His hands looked really fast. It looked powerful. And then he went out there and knocked out Andre Petroski in the first round, which I'm not sure how much that means because Petroski's very chinny. But yeah, Ralston seems to be a pretty well-rounded fighter fighting in Australia against Brundage. But Brundage is just a weird character. It's like you never know what you're going to get with Brundage. At least we know this is a full camp, because anytime Brundage shows up on short notice, it's bad. It's very bad every single time. So we'll probably get a good version of Brundage, but yeah, Ralston could knock him out. Ralston could potentially sub him. Brundage could potentially get some tape. Another weird fight. Like you never know what could happen in a Brundage. Like anything's on the table in a Brundage fight. Literally anything. Like he can lose to Eric McConaughey. Like anything can happen. Malkoun Should smoke Finney? Yeah, I could see it. Take him down, control him. A draw. We could see a draw. We could see a draw. Trust me, I think Dana's really wanting to find a reason to fire Taurus Finney. Dan is not a fan of Taurus Finney. Brady, what do you rate this UFC 325 Australia card from main event to first prelim? I give it a 7.5 or 7 to 7.5 on paper, and that's being generous. Well, are we counting the road to UFC fights or not? Because if I'm going to factor these in, the card's going to get a very, very brutal rating for me because I hate researching road to UFC fights. It's the worst. I don't like it. It takes way too much time. But outside of that, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm looking forward to South Kill Rangju. Man. Benoit Saint Denis Dan Hooker is a banger. Fazeev Rufi is a banger. This main card is very good. This main card is like an 8.5. With the prelims, I'd give it like a 6.5. Maybe a 7 because the main card is fire. And the main event is fire. Maybe a 7. I think I'd agree with you, Forrest. Maybe like a 7. I'm still not sold on Rousey, but it's Cody. Trust, I'm never ever betting Cody Brunch. Like if you can't beat Eric McConaughey, if you can't beat Eric McConaughey, something's wrong. Is Ralston actually knocking these guys out? Back-to-back knockouts. Back-to-back knockouts. We're back already. No breaks. No breaks. The only time we saw a good version of Brundage was against legendary punching bag Trayshawn Gore. Yeah, he has some good performances where he'll go out there and knock you out early. But outside of that, I don't know. Fazeev Rufi is my favorite fight on this card. Yeah, that's a banger, dude. That's an absolute banger. Fazeev Rufi? Absolutely. All right. You got a good crowd tonight. Thank you all for hanging out. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of content over the next 6 weeks. Going to be getting out some uploads sometime this week, probably breaking down the Pimblett fight, maybe breaking down the Nunez fight, some other fights for UFC 324. And then in a couple weeks, I might do like a very early breakdown for the card, something like that. Going to start taping these fights this week. I don't want to take a break. So figured I'd come on here tonight, and I'm going to come on here next week as well. And then we got the award show in 2 weeks. So yeah, going to be staying pretty active on YouTube. So appreciate y'all hanging out. Good crowd tonight. Do me a favor, like the video. We're at 70 likes. If we get 100, I have to sing. I don't want to, but if we get 100, I have to sing. All right. They really want to make a good first impression because this card is compared to 324. I mean, 324 is a lot better, but yeah, this main card's pretty fire. So we'll get into it. Dude, the Ralston Brundage fight is the featured pre. What are they featuring? I guess it could be a fun fight. I hope Ralston just knocks him out. I truly do. I'm sick of the Brundage experience. He's a nice guy. Brundage is a nice guy. One of the nicest guys out there. Big fan of Brundage as a person, but just his fights, it's like, they give me AIDS. I don't like having AIDS. It's not fun. It's not cool. Having AIDS is not fun. It's just not. It's just not. All right. I don't want Alexis. I mean, I do want Alexis. I definitely want Alexis. But I don't want to spend money on Alexis right now. So get this off of here. Get it off. All right. Okay. Jimmy Crute, Dustin Jacoby. I'll never forget Jimmy Crute. It was my first max bet of the year. Jimmy Crute versus Marcin Prachnio. I got him at like minus 218. And he went out there and he did it. He did it. A little bit of a sweat. He was kind of getting, beat up on the feet a little bit. This is a good matchup. This is a really good matchup. Striker versus grappler matchup where on the feet, I mean, I can see it now, man. I mean, I can see it. I can picture this fight so clearly in my head. It's like we already know what's going to happen. Jimmy Crute should go for takedowns, but he doesn't, and then he gets knocked out. Like, Jacoby could knock him out here. Jimmy Crute is so hittable, man. I mean, the Marcin Prachnio fight was a big red flag for me because Prachnio was lighting him up. Crackney was hitting with some big shot. Like if Jacoby hits him with those same shots, he might not make it out of there. But yeah, obviously if Jimmy Crute wrestles, if Jimmy Crute grapples, that's what he's good at. And Dustin Jacoby is a kickboxer. I will say Jacoby has improved his takedown defense. He has improved his get-up game. And he's actually really tough to take down and hold down. So yeah, I kind of think it all comes down to who's able to get their way here. Is Jacoby able to keep the fight standing? If he does, he probably knocks out Crute. Is Crute able to get the fight down to the ground? And another thing, if this fight leaves the first round, right there, you took the words out of my mouth. If this fight leaves the first round, Jimmy Crute is not winning. His chances of winning go to 0%. His cardio is so bad. It's so bad. So I don't know. I kind of lean maybe Jacoby here. I know we don't have odds for it yet, but probably a pretty closely lined fight. What's Tap? Yeah, Tapology's pretty close as well. 54% Crute. I could see like close to a pick 'em. I think you can make strong cases for both sides, but if, to be honest, if I was betting Crute, I would probably just bet him to win in round one. I mean that's how I'd always bet Crute, just to win in round one. Maybe a live bet on Jacoby. I think there's going to be some interesting ways to play. I actually really like this fight. Really like this fight. A very, very good fight. Jimmy Crute is still pure garbage with it. Yeah, I mean the fight IQ is horrible. The cardio is very bad. The chin is questionable at best. I mean, but yeah, the kid can grapple. The kid can certainly grapple. Everyone liked this video. Yeah, I might have to sing. Let's help Brady Brother get at least 100 likes tonight. Smash that button. I like the fight ends by KO here at a good price. I think Jacoby's... Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I like that. I like that too. Fight ends by KO because I agree. I think Jacoby's chin is dust. I think Crute's chin is dust. I think both guys have dust chins. Both guys have power. I think fight ends by KO is a very good look. Obviously, Crute could sub him. But yeah, I think that's sharp. Yeah, that's a good fight. That's a really good fight to kick off the card. I like that. All right. Tai Tuivasa versus Taliesin Teixeira. And I have about 24 minutes, guys. First of all, I want to look up the UFC rankings. Do they still have Tai Tuivasa in the rankings? If they do, I'm gonna have a little bit of a laugh. Heavyweight rankings. Tai Tuivasa is ranked 12th. So they've dropped him down because he was ranked like 8th or 9th. Which was funny because he's on like a 5 or 6. I think it's 5 or 6 fight skid. Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Marcin Tybura, Alexander Volkov, Sergey Pavlovich, Cyril Gane, 5-fight losing streak. And this guy's a ranked heavyweight. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. Tai Tuivasa on a 5-fight skid. And I mean, this is a fun fight. I mean, it's a fight where the under 1.5 is going to be what? Minus 300. No joke. They're gonna stand and bang. Tuivasa is gonna put on a show. Teixeira's aggressive. Teixeira is very aggressive, and so is Tai. Both these guys are kind of wanting to do the same thing and kind of come forward. I mean, this is a car crash at the highest degree, and I like car crashes, and I like heavyweight car crashes as well. And this is certainly one of them. Yeah, somebody's getting knocked out here in the first round. Simple as that. I want to root for Tai. Like I want to root for this guy, but I won't be putting any money on really either one of these guys. Maybe look at the props. If they do mess up the total, maybe like an under, but fight ends by knockout. It's going to be like minus 600. They're going to be all over it. It's a very violent fight where somebody's getting served in the first round. Yeah, both these guys can be knocked out. Both these guys have power. 82% taking Taliesin Teixeira. 97.5% by knockout. I don't know. Kind of feels like a coin flip. Like I wouldn't be shocked if either one of these guys won. I mean, I guess in theory, like Talison's a black belt. Maybe he can grapple, but he's not going to grapple, dude. They're going to stand and trade. Australia's the hometown guy, or Tai Tuivasa is the hometown guy in Australia. I don't know. Tough fight to call. We got Migs in the building. What's up, Migs? 6 weeks to save up to bet Patty via sub. Thoughts? Well, I like it. I haven't taped the fight yet, but what I do know for a fact is Justin Gaethje is a phenomenal fighter. He's a very fun fighter, one of the most entertaining fighters in UFC history. I'm a big fan of Gaethje. He's a white belt on the mat. Anytime we've seen Gaethje taken down, it's looked very brutal and bad. If Patty gets on top of Gaethje, the fight's over very shortly after. So yeah, I would agree. Patty via sub makes a lot of sense. Have to see where they put that. They put that prop out. Patty by sub, I like it. I think fight ends in round 1 could end up looking like free money here. Yeah, I don't really see this getting to fight 2. And quite frankly, I don't think Talison's seen a round 2 yet. Let's take a look. Yeah, round 1. Talison has not seen a second round. Yeah, he does have some submissions, has an inverted triangle armbar. Gosh. Against Carlos Sena. Yeah, maybe like a fight ends by round 1 depending on the price. I don't think this fight's getting. They're not gonna like have a feeling out process is the thing. Tai Tuivasa looks like he's doing his camp at the bar. No, I saw the clip. I don't know if it was a real clip. I kid you not. I saw a clip of Tai Tuivasa, and he looks to be in pretty good shape. Again, it could have been a fake clip. It could have been fake, but he looked to be in good shape. Sadly, we minus 159 for the fight ends in round 1. Yeah, maybe. Minus 150, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, that's another good fight. All right. Man, Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Hoofy. Oh, God. What a fight. Striker's delight. Absolute striker's delight. How old is Fiziev now? Is he 36? He's 32? I thought he was older than that. He looks older than that in there. There's no way this guy's 32. You're telling me that's a 32-year-old man? I don't buy it. I don't buy that. Yeah, he looked good against Bob Melendez. I thought he looked pretty bad against Gaethje, but that's Gaethje. Had that injury against Gamrot. He was out for a while. I don't know. Risu, I mean, this is a good fight. Hoofy, coming off of losing to Benoit Saint-Denis, getting taken there. I mean, there's no shame in that. On top of that, he's not going to have to worry about Fiziev wrestling at all. I mean, I guess in theory, Fiziev could wrestle, but I don't think he's going to do it. Yeah, I think somebody probably gets knocked out here too. We saw Fiziev get dropped against Justin Gaethje. Hoofy has a ton of power. Fiziev has a lot of power. Maybe like a fight ends by knockout, something like that. But I don't know who I'm picking here. I got to look into this one a lot more. Very high-level fight. What are you guys liking in this one? Yes, Allison does go all out early. I mean, maybe, but isn't that kind of disrespectful to call Fiziev like Yontop? I don't know. But I know I see what you're saying. Just like a beatdown. That was a beatdown, the Yontop fight. Some of those shots that Yontop ate, I don't know how he did it. Yontop's super tough. Hoofy decision. Goes the distance. Let's take a look at the do we have odds? No, we only have odds for 2 fights. But yeah, Hoofy probably the favorite, right? Oh, wow. 69% of people on Tapology taking Fiziev. I think Hoofy's probably going to be the favorite. Slight favorite. We'll have to see. Fiziev versus Hoofy is where this card is elite. The top 3 fights gets my Johnson. Oh, my gosh. There you go. Buchecha, get some help, please, dude. Get some help now. Yeah, I'm going to end the poll, actually. The Who Needs to Get Help poll. 165 votes. 165 votes. Who needs to get some help? From UFC Vegas 112. In 4th place, King Green, 6%. In 3rd place, Kennedy Nzechukwu, 25%. In 2nd place, Marcus Buchecha, 32%. And then In first place, Teresa Bleda, 37%. Teresa Bleda, get some help. We'll see you in 3 years. Recover from the injury. We'll see you in about 3 years, Teresa. Hoofy round 1. Fiziev the fave. Whoever's the I think it's going to be a very closely lined fight. Like, I could see maybe Fiziev minus 130, minus 150. Hoofy minus 130, 150. But like I said, I got to look into the fight a lot more. Hoofy, yeah, that's the thing. Hoofy's like low volume. Not really, right? Like, Hoofy can throw some volume. I guess he's kind of a slow starter sometimes. Let's see. He threw a lot of volume in that Yontop fight. Hoofy lands about 3.84. Yeah, that's not amazing. But that went down because of the Saint Denis fight. In the Saint Denis fight, he landed 5 strikes because Saint Denis didn't let him breathe. So yeah, he landed he landed only 67 against Yontop. Yontop landed 90. Yeah, I guess he is a little bit low volume. Ruffy will likely lose again, in my opinion. He could lose, but he's not going to lose like getting taken down and sub like it did in his last fight, at least. I remember Joshua Fabia. That whole thing was weird. Buchecha needs some help, then drop down to 205. He needs some help. I don't want to see him in the UFC ever again. We already know Fiziev can handle long, rangy guys, no sweat, and his eyes are good, especially from distance striking. Yeah, Fiziev's a phenomenal striker. I can't back Hoofy against another highly confident striker. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. It's a good fight. Very good fight. Another fight of the night. I think this could be potential fight of the night. Hoofy, Fiziev. And then I think that on the prelims, that Sal killed Rangju fight could be potential fight of the night. But yeah, Hoofy Fiziev has fight of the night written all over it. And so does this next fight. Dan Hooker, Benoit Saint Denis. I mean, this fight's awesome at the same time as like weird matchmaking because like Benoit Saint Denis is gonna run through Dan Hooker. No, I mean it's a brutal matchup for Dan Hooker. I'm kind of surprised that Benoit Saint Denis is only minus 250, right? Like we just saw. I know it's Arman Tsarukyan, but Arman Tsarukyan's not some insane finisher. Arman Tsarukyan just destroyed Dan Hooker on the ground. So yeah, initial thoughts. I think Saint Denis probably takes down Hooker and destroys him, right? Obviously, if the fight gets extended, Saint Denis has slowed down in the past, but I mean, Hooker's gonna have to weather one hell of a storm for the first 12 and a half minutes. Will he be able to do that? I don't know, but yeah, kind of leaning Saint Denis. Initial thoughts here, and I'm kind of surprised he's only minus 250 after seeing what Arman did to him. What are your guys' thoughts on this one? Yeah, Hooker's 36, almost 36, 76% Saint Denis. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning Saint Denis. Early thoughts, Saint Denis. Can you believe these fights are only a week after 324? It's gonna be a fun 2 weeks. I'll tell you that. It's gonna be 6 brutal weeks off, but it's gonna be a fun 2 weeks. I'll tell you that when we get back. Back to back, really good cards. I'm looking forward to it. BSD all day. I think Dan Hooker is quickly on the way out. Yeah, people were calling Dan Hooker washed years ago. I remember people were actually betting Claudio Poyas. I remember going on Twitter and seeing people betting on Claudio Poyas against Dan Hooker. I'm like, what? What are you guys doing? Why are you betting on Claudio Poyas? Like, people thought Hooker was washed like 3 years ago. Why do I always think of Crute fights as random messes? Well, he's had a lot of mess. The Menafield, the first Menafield fight was a mess. Even the second Menafield fight, he got guillotined. That was a mess. He had another messy. I mean, he's had some messy fights. Yeah, someone gasses, someone gets floored. MMA skill. Yeah, that's a Crute fight for you. BSD will be minus 350 come fight time, in my opinion. And by the way, could you believe that Benoit Saint Denis was only like minus 180 against Beneil Dariush? That was phenomenal. I bet the Saint Denis KO prop there. That was just a gift. I couldn't believe that. But yeah, I could see it. Minus 250 by fight time. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he's minus 250. I think that line probably moves. Minus 300. BSD sub easy money. I would tend to agree. I mean, Hooker got subbed by, Armin, which it's not the worst look in the world. He got subbed by Makhachev, which there's no shame in that. But I mean, same thing. He's going to take him down and do bad things to him. You got to imagine. Hooker pulled such a quick job in his last fight. I think he's done. 21 like we have 10 minutes, Forrest. We have 10 minutes to get 21 likes. It would be a really big shame if we didn't get 100 likes. Be a really big shame. Could get sketchy. If it got extended, it could get a little sketchy potentially. Dan also seems to be racking up injuries too, and seems to fight not to win. Fight the fight not to win. Yeah, he's also coming in there with that blonde hair. He's got a lot of different tattoos going on. Kind of hope BSD stands and bangs with Hooker. That would be awesome. And they might. I think they might stand and bang a little bit, and then I think St. Anthony probably takes him down, and then that's that. I've got Hooker. BSD is not Armin. That's true, but BSD is still a very good wrestler and very good grappler. His technique isn't terrible, and he can get up. BSD showed that he can control and take down Hoofy so far, but no strike defense. Yeah, on the feet, Hooker has some opportunities for sure, but can he keep it on the feet would be the question. Brother Brady, it looks like we're not reaching 100 likes tonight. At least we got the likes up to 79. I appreciate that. I didn't expect to hit 100 likes on a 6-week break. I really didn't expect 300 people to show up between Twitter and YouTube. So I do appreciate all the likes. And what I'll do for you, Forrest, is I will guarantee that I will sing on the first prediction video of 2026. I got you. All right. So yeah, St. Denis minus 250, Dan Hooker plus 205. And then the main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez 2. So I was at this card live. Let's see. I was at this card live. This was Miami. Yeah, I was at Miami. Miami was so much fun. So expensive. So expensive in Miami, but fun nonetheless. And it was a great card. Let's take a look at that Miami card. It was a phenomenal card. Cornhole submitted Haley Cohen. Oh, Tulio versus Gore. I had Tulio by knockout. That was fun. Ola Zaychuk knocked out Dumas. I was big on Ola Zaychuk. That was great. It was a good card. Juliana Rosa, Darren Elkins. That was fun. I had Chase Super to finish Jim Miller. I wasn't too happy there. Jandaroba, that was good. Dan Ige, I had the Dan Ige finish only against Woodson. I actually missed this fight because I had to take such a bad piss. I had to take the biggest piss in my life. I went and it looked like the fight was cruising to decision, and I'm taking the piss, and people start cheering really loudly. That's how you know there's a finish when they're in the arena. And I'm like, no, did Dan Ige get finished? And I guess Dan Ige got the knockout. So cash my finish only there. Dominic Reyes knocked out Krylov. Gene Silva submitted Bryce. I mean, this was a great card. The Patty Pimblett fight, Michael. I mean, this was a phenomenal card. And then the main event. I don't know. I didn't like it. I was very drunk. By the time the main event kicked around, I was probably spent over $250 on alcohol. And I briefly remember the fight, but what I do remember is just nothing happened. It wasn't your typical Diego Lopez fight. In your typical Diego Lopez fight, he's pushing a pace. He's getting a little crazy in there. He's taking chances, and he really just tried to go technique for technique with Volk. I mean, it was a horrible game. It looked like there wasn't a game plan for Lopez. I don't want to say he fought scared. He didn't fight scared. He just kind of fought, Volk's game like a technical kickboxing fight, and you're not going to win that. So I'm hoping that Lopez comes out here and with a different game plan, maybe push the pace a little bit more, maybe show some more urgency. Because if you go out there and fight the way you did in the first fight, I mean, you're going to lose that fight 9 times out of 10. So, yeah, I mean, I think if Lopez is winning, he's probably knocking out Volk. The Volk's chin, I think, is not what it once was. We've seen him get hurt. We've seen him get knocked out by Islam. We saw him get knocked out by Topuria. So, yeah, if Lopez is winning, he's definitely probably winning this fight by knockout. But he's got to kind of push for it. He's got to kind of go for it. And as we know, all rematches don't play out the same. And I forget who I picked in the first fight. I'll have to go back and look. I forget who I picked because I like both these guys quite a bit. Volkanovski is one of my favorite fighters. But, yeah, I think it's probably Volkanovski by decision or Lopez by knockout. I don't envision a world where Lopez is getting finished. I mean, he showed so much toughness against Gene Silva. But I can envision a world where Lopez finishes Volk by knockout there. So Volkanovski is minus 170. Lopez is plus 145. I want to see what they were lined in their first fight. Was Lopez plus 145 in their first fight? So Volkanovski in their first fight, I think, was minus 170, right? Or yeah. Volkanovski was minus 170. Lopez was plus 145 in their. No. Volkanovski was minus 156. It's pretty much the same line. It was a little bit shorter last time. Now Volkanovski's minus 170 this time around. So yeah, honestly, I mean, I think if Lopez can actually push a pace this time and try, I think he has a chance to catch him, but just can't go out there and do what he did. Oh God. Oh God. Gene Silva by KO against Bryce Mitchell, and then he subs him. Yeah, that's just brutal. That's brutal. We got a House of Grind. Didn't expect a DFS stream tonight. Guess I'm a lucky MFer. Yeah, went long. I know people like to listen to the podcast. I'm a big podcast guy. When I do my workouts, I like to listen to a podcast. I'll put on a full podcast and listen to it throughout my workout. I know people are driving, listening to stuff. So 3 hours of content for you guys to listen to while you work out, while you're driving to work, stuff like that. $250 on like $35 of alcohol, man. We're lost. Yeah, it's brutal. That is so true. $250 on alcohol. That's like you can get a 12-pack for what, $30 or less. Just brutal, man. Volk finishes Diego this time. That'd be crazy. Lopez is tough. I don't know, man. Lopez could have the same exact game plan and he could win just by finding. But yeah, you're right. It only takes one shot. I'm just saying, like be aggressive in there. Make this a dirty fight. Make it a little bit of a car crash. Yeah, he did catch Volk there at one point. Volk sounds like he's gonna try out. What? Volk's saying he's gonna wrestle? Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think that's really smart. But yeah, if he does try to wrestle, Lopez has an incredible submission game. I have this strange feeling things will go great for Volkanovski this time until it doesn't. It pains me to say this because I love Volk, but that chin is suspect, and he's 60 years old. Kind of thinking the same thing. But I would probably look at like a Lopez KO prop or Lopez finish only, stuff like that. I think Diego was a little bit caught up in the moment, but if he drops him like that, I think he'll be because whenever Lopez hurts you, like he swarms and he goes kind of all out there for that finish. But yeah, I mean, it would definitely be Lopez or pass for me personally. Plus 145. But yeah. It's tough to call. I feel like based on MMA aging, Volk gets finished. I would stay away. Yeah, somebody said Volk's 30. Is he really 37? 37 years old. Wow. 37 years old. Been knocked out 3 times. Brady, on behalf of everyone that tuned into your show, thank you for doing this live stream tonight. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Merry Christmas to you as well, Forrest. I'm sure I'll talk to you again before then, but yeah, appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, he's not 60, but close. He's getting up there. All right, guys, we did it. We talked about a lot. We covered a lot. We recapped UFC Vegas 112. We did an early look into 2026. We talked through UFC 324. We talked through UFC 325. Be on the lookout for some individual prediction videos throughout the week. Going to be breaking down maybe some of the main events, co-main events, stuff like that on the channel. And then I'm planning on going live again next Monday. Maybe take a deeper dive into 324, or we'll do something, figure out something. And then in 2 weeks from now is going to be the official Stat Diggers end of a year award show. Don't miss it. Be there or be square in 2 weeks to this day. Going to be the best award show out there. So thank you all for hanging out. Like on your way out, subscribe on your way out, and we will talk to you guys soon. See ya.